The Toronto Raptors gassed after last night's heroic comeback win. Do it again. And if you're one of the people who attended this game live, you got your money's worth today because you got to see Scottie Barnes and the Toronto Raptors complete a borderline historic 21-point comeback. These games against Orlando are always like this, right? Even last year, they kind of came down to the wire. They were really mucky, really low scoring, really gross. And tonight, the Toronto Raptors did not have it. In the first quarter, the Raptors came out very sluggish, very stagnant, and I think they were down 14-2 in the first quarter, and it was like, uh-oh, this team is about to have a hangover loss, and they were leading 2-0, and then they didn't lead again until a remarkable 13-0 run in the fourth quarter, which pushed the lead to 103-102. Wow. Wow. Okay. This is ridiculous. The Raptors showed grit. They showed toughness. Darko Rajakovic finally did what this channel and a lot of Raptor fans have been asking for the entire way through, which is, please, for the love of God, bench Emmanuel Quickley when he's playing like this. Emmanuel Quickley got outplayed by Tyus Jones. Emmanuel Quickley got outplayed by Jace Richardson. Emmanuel Quickley got thoroughly outplayed by Anthony Black and Desmond Bane. And he got outplayed by his own backup guard significantly. So a lot of times what the Raptors will do in these situations when Jamal Shead is outplaying Emmanuel Quickley is they'll just put Jamal Shead in at the 1 and move Quickley over to the 2. But it just so happens that tonight, Jacoby Walter was also doing his thing, especially defensively. And Colin Murray-Boyles, he was doing his thing on the glass, helping Scottie Barnes out. It's not easy to contest with 6'10" Paolo Banchero, 6'11" Wendell Carter Jr., 7-foot nearly Goga Batadze when you don't have a 7-footer on your roster. And you do now have a 7-footer on your roster. Mo Bamba does make his season debut for the Toronto Raptors. And in 4 minutes that Mo Bamba played, he was awful. I think that's fair to say. The Raptors were -9 in his 3 to 4 minute debut. He looked lost defensively. He had 1 block. And, you know, to the people who see the rim deterrence, that 1 block, which we will look at, the glorious 1 block that made you like really hopeful, like, oh my God, Mo Bamba is about to save the Raptors season. Someone said 3 blocks. The box score shows 1 block. We can take a look at it. Was it 3 blocks? Because I'm seeing 1 block on his box score. Am I crazy? It says he got 1 block, dude. So either ESPN is bugging or Mo Bamba. I heard the broadcast say that Mo Bamba had 3 blocks as well. I'm like, I counted 1, borderline 2. I mean, he deterred some shots, but immediately, you know, there was offensive rebounding issues. There was offense issues. So I don't know. I don't know what you want to say, but honestly, coming onto a team that you haven't been a part of since training camp, trying to learn the offense, especially when you're not necessarily the smartest basketball player in the world. I think Mo Bamba was fine, but the Raptors looked at it. They said, I don't know about that. And they walked away from it. The Toronto Raptors did not get a great game from Scottie Barnes, especially in the first half. I thought Scottie looked sluggish. Scottie looked distracted. Scottie looked like he had a case of ADHD out there. He was complaining to the referees, finishing short, not finishing through contact, crying about fouls, not rotating defensively, not getting those, 50-50 balls. And you're just like, okay, listen, you had 25 rebounds last night. That was 25 hours ago. You get a pass. Okay. If you come out with a stinker tonight, you get a pass. Okay. You're undermanned. You're going without Jakob Poeltl, no RJ Barrett on the back-to-back today. Scottie looked gassed. Okay. And even still, I think he provided a lot defensively, tried to do the right things. But man, I was like, you know what? If he doesn't have it, limit his minutes tonight. You had something good going with Brandon Ingram on the bench, though. And even in the first half where the Raptors were consistently losing, majorly losing. Let's take a look at this game. The Raptors get outscored 29-18 in the first half, but in first quarter. But in the second quarter, they managed to keep it even 36-36. And that was in large part due to the unit which involved Jamal Shead, Brandon Ingram, and 2 or 3 bench players. It was like Sandro Mamukelashvili, A little bit of Colin Murray Boyles, a little bit of Grady Dick making some shots, a little bit of Jacoby Walter sprinkled in there, but it wasn't Scottie Barnes, and it definitely wasn't Emmanuel Quickley. And when Emmanuel Quickley would come into the game, the lead would evaporate almost immediately. His negative 18, they tell you, don't look at plus minus, don't look at plus minus. Why don't you take a look at the Raptors plus minus tonight and try to just figure it out? What really went wrong, right? You win this game by 1, Emmanuel Quickley was negative 18. The rest of the starters were +7, -3, 0, and +8. What does that tell you? He played a lot of negative minutes tonight, a lot. And his presence on the court was disastrous for this team's offense and defense. He was getting destroyed on defense by Anthony Black. He was getting destroyed on defense, scrambling double teams with no sense whatsoever. So I'm really happy that Darko rode the hot end. And I'm positive that the Toronto media is going to make a really big deal out of this. Please don't. Please don't make a big deal out of this. It's not illogical that when one player so thoroughly outplays another player, that the player who's being outplayed sits on the bench. Every other team would do this. The Toronto Raptors, no. Emmanuel Quickley is above benching. Listen, man, there's 2 players on this team that are above benching on most nights, and that's Brandon Ingram and Scottie Barnes. Everybody else, you can sit. If you're playing like complete garbage, you can sit. Okay? But unfortunately, Jakob Poeltl will never sit, even when he's getting destroyed by the matchup, and it's obvious that, like you should go small. He doesn't have it tonight. He will never sit. RJ, when he's getting destroyed, he'll never sit. Emmanuel Quickley, when he's, shooting 1 for 12, he'll never sit. I think Emmanuel Quickley was horrible tonight. Like, honestly horrible. There was like a little stretch of basketball where he scored 4 points in about 2 minutes. Apart from those 2 minutes where he scored 4 points and it was back-to-back buckets on borderline wide open layups, he scored 0 points tonight. He went 2 for 12, 0 for 6 from 3. Am I the only person who feels a little bit more comfortable when Jamal Shead takes a 3 these days than when Emmanuel Quickley takes a 3? That can't be it, man. That can't be it. Like, you are immediately small when this guy's on the court, and it's so sad because you see him score 27 points last night, and it's a game of 2 halves. There's a game where he's kind of like off the ball and it's perfect, and then there's a game where he's on the ball and it's horrible. And it's like, I wonder if he's going to take the note and play more off the ball today. And nah, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. No. We need to massage the ball and run everything through Emmanuel Quickley. The Raptors had their most success tonight playing through Brandon Ingram, frankly. Brandon Ingram found the advantages. Brandon Ingram found the cutters. Brandon Ingram found the divers to the rim. Brandon Ingram was able to successfully load up the double teams and dissect those double teams. I didn't love that late game call, that fadeaway, with 30 seconds to go when the Raptors decided to run the offense through Ingram. Jamal Shead passed up a layup to set that up for him. And I'm just like, you know what, at this point, Jamal, just take the fucking layup, man. You got a head of steam, ahead of defense. I know it's 30 seconds. You want to play the possession game. The Magic end up with 6 seconds to create an offensive play. Jamal Mosley decides to roll without a timeout at about 6 seconds or like 10 seconds to go. They run the ball up the court. Paolo Banchero says, no. We need a timeout. It's interesting that you get to watch a team call a timeout and then come up with the dumbest play on earth, which everyone thought you were going to go to, which is a Paolo Banchero isolation. Last night, I said the Brandon Ingram play, which was designed in regulation against Draymond Green, was stupid because it didn't move the offense. It moved Ingram away from the basketball or away from the basket, and it was against their best defender, which was Draymond Green. It didn't involve any other player. It didn't involve a screen. Well, tonight, the Magic were like, you know what? Our turn to play stupid basketball. And as much as I'd love to tell you the Raptors won this game through their tenacity, force, defense, and their defense was incredible in the fourth quarter. Jamal Shead, Jacoby Walter, Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, everybody was so locked in defensively. It was awesome to see. As much as I would like to tell you that it is just as much as like it's the Raptors won this game, as much as the Raptors won this game, the Magic lost this game as well. The Magic offense just absolutely grinded to a halt. This is a team that desperately needs Franz Wagner. And in my opinion, their most important player has been Jalen Suggs. I love Jalen Suggs. I wish the Raptors could get Jalen Suggs, but without Jalen Suggs, this team really looks different. And as much, as many empty calorie points as Paolo wants to put on the board, as many points as Desmond Bane can score and space that he can provide. He had a really abysmal second half. He ends up shooting 6 for 18 from the field. I think that this team is better when Jalen Suggs is on the court by far. And Tyus Jones, nobody's definition of a great player. So for the Magic tonight, you got 23 points from Paolo Banchero, 10 assists, 15 rebounds. The absolute definition of empty calories, like totally. Just didn't feel his impact at all. Defensively, he got fried all night. But, big night for Paolo. This is a triple double. And let's just be real. Like Scottie had 23, 25, and 10 last night. And we were like, this is the greatest performance. And tonight, Paolo does some variation of that, minus 10 rebounds, but with none of the defense, none of the connective passing, and none of the impact, in my opinion. Wendell Carter, who fouled out of the game late on a Scottie Barnes offensive rebound, he ends up with 9 points and 6 boards. The Raptors did a pretty good job of keeping him off the glass, but honestly, he did a pretty good job of keeping himself off the glass. Desmond Bane had 18 points. Most of those came in the first half, if not all of them came in the first half. Anthony Black was definitely their best player tonight with 27 points. He got whatever he wanted, and he looked really, really good. Almost like he was trying to taunt Raptor fans to remind them, hey, man, you remember that draft that y'all could have tanked? You could have had me. And Anthony Black is a legit point guard. I was very, very high on him at the draft. If you remember, he was 4th on my board, and I was like a little bit higher on him than pretty much everybody I knew. And he's becoming even better than the player I thought he was going to be. Like, he started out really slow in Orlando, but he's looked really good. Off the bench, the Magic got 20 seconds of play from Jonathan Isaac, who I think would have made a really big difference tonight, but he couldn't go. He injured right away. Jamal Cain ends up getting some minutes, 12 points. Tristan Da Silva, who went right before Jacoby Walter in the draft. I think Jacoby took that a little bit personally. Tristan Da Silva cooked the shit out of the Raptors last season. This season, not so much. Jace Richardson, rookie out of Michigan State, son of Jason Richardson, really high impact player. I think he played better than Emmanuel Quickley. He was pretty good defensively. Just he plays like a veteran, man. He really does. He's a good young player. And Goga Bitadze was relatively ineffective tonight. Like, he's a player that I've often targeted as like the Raptors should trade for Goga Bitadze. He's a really decent player. Yeah, like he had a rough go tonight. For the Raptors, 7 for 22, Brandon Ingram, not the most efficient shooting night, 0 for 6 from 3. He was a really big part of why the Raptors were down. But honestly, even at 7 for 22, I liked the way Brandon Ingram played today. It wasn't like the most shooting efficient game, but man, he did so many small things for this team. His playmaking was very good. The 4 assists don't even come close to it. He got on the glass. He even got a really big block late. I liked his game overall. Sandro Mamukelashvili was solid. You can pretty much bank like 10 to 13 points from him on every single night where he starts, and he was just solid. He didn't make any threes tonight either. The Raptors notably shot 24% from 3, and it kind of helps that the Magic shot 28% from 3. You're not going to win a lot of games in the NBA when you shoot 24% from 3. The Raptors did not have their legs tonight. So it was a good thing that coming off the bench, and you got 0 for 6 from Emmanuel Quickley, you got 0 for 1 from Ochai Agbaji. Ochai Agbaji got the majority of his shots cutting to the basket and, off of putbacks. He ended up with 3 offensive rebounds, really big contributor there. Scottie with 2 offensive rebounds, Brandon Ingram with 2 offensive rebounds. And off the bench, you get this very interesting performance from Colin Murray-Boyles, like the epitome of a Colin Murray-Boyles performance. Paint finishing, terrible. Only shot he made tonight was from 3, which is so funny to me. Missed 3 out of 4 clutch free throws down the stretch, and yet was a plus 18 and was ridiculously impactful defensively. Crashing the glass, putting a body on dudes, being physical, good connective playmaking, huge block. This massive block on that play with Scottie Barnes defending. And it was just like, great. Jacoby Walter, I thought he was incredible. I thought his defense, point of attack defense, picking up full court, I thought he was tenacious as hell. He got to the line, replacing a lot of that RJ Barrett impact. And you know what? Grady Dick was no slouch either. 15 points in 15 minutes. His shot making was really good tonight. He looked really smooth. He even had a dribble, off the dribble little, you don't see you don't see Grady go for like a little bit of hot sauce, but he put the ball on the floor. He looked comfortable tonight. And I think, if you had overplayed him a little bit, some of his deficiencies might have been more Wortley. Unfortunately, he shared the floor a lot with Emmanuel Quickley, and therefore, it's like almost like a plague. When you share the floor with Emmanuel Quickley, you get negative points added. Scottie Barnes shared the floor a lot with Emmanuel Quickley tonight. He has -3. Grady Dick shared the floor a lot with Manny Quickley. He's a -10, but I don't think either Scottie nor Grady necessarily had a bad game. I just don't think it was like perfect defensively, and the team didn't perform super well with them on the court. But Jacoby Walter was like overall like very impactful, and Grady I think provided a lot of pop off the bench, and you really needed it. He's like one of two guys who had multiple 3-pointers go down tonight, which is just crazy in a league where you regularly have 3, 4 guys with 3 to 4 threes. You have two guys who had more than 2 threes tonight. And of course, the player of the game, the guy who I had to update the graphic for, Jamal freaking Shead, with the most Kyle Lowry-esque, comeback performance, masterful orchestrator of offense, masterful orchestration of, pace and tempo, so freaking mature. Like his performance was so mature tonight. I loved this game for Jamal Shead. And his post game was really interesting. After the game, he's interviewed and he's just like, yeah, like we saw what Scottie did last night. And we just wanted to come out and play with that energy. And we were feeling inspired. And it's like, yo, man, that's dope. Like you played the game of your freaking NBA career tonight in a comeback win in which you desperately you manhandled your matchup, right? Like you outplayed your matchup, you outplayed the starting point guard on your team, and there's no like, yeah, I'm great. There's none of that. There's just like, yeah, I was inspired by Scottie Barnes last night. I just wanted to come out and help my team win. You love Jamal Shead, man. The Raptors win a game in which they shot 39% from the field and 24% from three. I promise you, this is not a recipe for success, but the Raptors get 21 offensive rebounds, and that's how they win this game. They get 21 offensive rebounds. The whistle was not flowing their way. The whistle was not flowing their way, but they do get to the line 29 times, in large part due to Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, etc. And the Magic led for 90% of this game. 90% of this game. Their largest lead was 21, and the Raptors somehow came back. Unbelievable. Points in the paint, the Raptors had 58 points. And again, that is in large part due to Scottie Barnes and Brandon Ingram. I think Ingram especially is able to draw help out of the paint and push, cutters into the paint. And I just think that Brandon Ingram was a little bit underrated tonight. Like, I don't think his shooting performance or the numbers are going to prove anything to you. I just think this was a game of collective winning. So shout outs, man. Where are all the IQ stands? They have retired. Okay. They have retired. And I hope that they stay retired, because if at this point you have any inkling of I think he's perfectly fine. He's not perfectly fine. He's been freaking awful, and you need to acknowledge it. Speaking of Brandon Ingram, this is how the Raptors start the game, and it is on a Brandon Ingram drive. And that, we talk about qualification of assists. Like, what is an assist? When Emmanuel Quickley has 10 assists, people are like, oh man, he's a point guard. How can you say he's not a point guard? Not one of Emmanuel Quickley's assists tonight generated an offensive look this clean. Now, granted, he did have a nice corner pitch, which we're not going to look at, to Grady Dick, which I did like. It was projected the entire way through. He looked at him for 4 seconds before he threw the pass. It's the small things. But I'm telling you right now that there are 4 players on this team that I trust to run the offense more than Emmanuel Quickley. And one of them threw that pass right there, and that was Brandon Ingram. I said Grady Dick is having the night of his life, for real. Here comes Scottie Barnes in transition. Always good to see Scottie pushing the break. The Raptors down 13. Here, Scottie just overpassed to Emmanuel Quickley tonight. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if Scottie was trying to get him rolling, or it was because Emmanuel Quickley put a big picture of Scottie Barnes on his fucking face on his Instagram story last night. I don't know what the hell it was, but he just, every pass Scottie made to start this game was like Emmanuel Quickley. Making Emmanuel Quickley the connective passer between your decisions is a really bad idea. Like right here, Paolo is totally missing the corner. Just throw the pass to Grady yourself and collect the assist, man. Why are you trusting him to make the assist? Like, if nothing else, Grady is less open than if you'd thrown the pass yourself. You generate no advantage here, but nevertheless, Grady almost gets fouled there, tries to bait the foul, but he makes the shot. Very nice. I said, welcome to the Mo Bamba experience. Block, contest, gives up a rebound, foul, flash forward 2 minutes, 20-point blowout. This is where it got really bad for the Raptors. The Raptors put Mo Bamba in when it was around a 10-point game. By the time he came out, it was a 19-point game. And here's Desmond Bane, clearly just beats Emmanuel Quickley off the dribble. Like, why is it so easy? Why is it so easy to beat Emmanuel Quickley off the dribble? He can't do this to Jamal Shead. Why is it so easy? Nevertheless, right now, Emmanuel Quickley is thanking his lucky stars that Mr. 7-foot himself is back here to wipe this away. So that's great. Now, everyone's going to forget that Desmond Bane exists, including Mo Bamba. But here, Mo recovers. Emmanuel Quickley is lost, okay? And I want to be clear. If a better player had the ball right here, this is 100% a pass to the corner for Desmond Bane, because I promise you the Raptors just don't know Desmond Bane is on the court right now because Emmanuel Quickley doesn't see it. But right now, Emmanuel Quickley thinks, you know what I need to do right now instead of closing out to the shooter? I need to help Mo Bamba block shots. That should be my job right here. No, Mo can pretty much stop the entire and the guy who's been open for the last 14 seconds basically gets the ball, and Scottie closes out to him, and now your entire defense is a mess. And look, here's another shooter who's wide open. Thank you, Emmanuel Quickley. And he gets the, and Mo Bamba's like totally loses the offensive rebounder, thinking about Wendell Carter, Jacoby, and IQ. What's IQ doing here? What are you doing, Emmanuel Quickley? Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is why you're negative 18, man. And this is why you sat on the bench the entire night. Like, what the fuck? Do nothing. Do nothing. Do nothing. Do nothing. Do nothing. And I guarantee you right here, if by some divine miracle, this dude had just missed this shot, Wendell Carter is getting this offensive rebound right over Emmanuel Quickley, because Emmanuel Quickley's just like spectator. Bro, it's like this guy doesn't think these games are recorded. I see what you're doing, man. I see what you're doing. We all see what you're doing. And that's why your ass on the bench. Crazy. Anyways, Mo Bamba forgets the offensive rebound. It's like, it's kind of weird to like blame Mo for that. Like, he's a new guy. Maybe we should, talk about the point guard who did absolutely nothing on that play, but complicate everything for everybody. I don't know. Here, Brandon Ingram, beautiful pass, man. And again, like, just great passes all night long. And it's these types of passes that I think need to be quantified as greater than assists. These need to be like advantage generation assists, right? Because these are those are the cleanest looks. You draw the double, you manipulate the defense, you do 90% of the heavy lifting. The other guy just had to put the ball in the basket. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a James Harden assist, the Jokic assist. These are different type of assists. And the whole time I've been talking about Brandon Ingram's a good passer. Brandon Ingram's a good passer. We haven't really seen it. We haven't seen very much of it in Toronto yet. But I think tonight, like, you had one. Oak Tree said, in the words of Sylvester Stallone, you can't be both greedy and lazy. Hell yeah, man. Shout outs to Sylvester Stallone. Here, a little bit of a mishandling on this pass, but not rocket science. This unit was cooking. And this unit, for those who are not seeing it, Colin Murray-Boyles, Brandon Ingram, Jamal Shead, Sandro Mamukelashvili, and one of Grady or Jacoby was the perfect lineup tonight. Just beautiful transition, selfless, cutting, just really good. And I said, this unit is cooking. And once again, who is in the middle running the break? Yeah, your big point forward, Brandon Ingram. Here, Ingram, one-on-one against and Paolo late to the corner. Here, Tyus Jones doesn't decide to guard Jamal Shead. Perfectly fine off of two swings to get Jamal Shead that three. And the Raptors cut a 20-point deficit down to 10, right? So they undo the mess. Here, watch Emmanuel Quickley's defense. This is atrocious defense across the board. Here. Now, I understand if Paolo is trapped, you send a quick trap. But here, Scottie versus Paolo, you're doubling off a shooter to help your best defender, and you're not even bringing the trap like in a proper way. Like, he hasn't even picked up his dribble. Right here, Paolo is a good playmaker, man. He is able to see this, and you're not going to take this away from him. If nothing else, he's just going to find Tyus Jones. And now you are just making life very complicated for Ochai Agbaji, because you're not going to recover to Desmond Bane. I know if there's anything I know about Emmanuel Quickley, he's not going. If Ochai helps him by getting out to Tyus Jones, he's not going to help Ochai by recovering to Desmond Bane. That's something that I do know. And here, so Emmanuel Quickley was like, okay, I'll get him. So Ochai intelligently says, okay, back to Desmond Bane. But now you close out recklessly on not a great shooter. And now look at the defense behind you. You don't even recover. You're just kind of like waving at the ball. So where are you going? You're recovering out to Paolo Banchero? Such ridiculous defense. And it's just created by the cascading effect of one guy just not knowing what to do all the time. Second half comes. Immediately the Raptors, Brandon Ingram decides to get Scottie Barnes a touch. Obviously, the news earlier, the Raptors found out that Scottie Barnes was not one of the top 20 vote getters in the Eastern Conference. A true indictment of our times, and a true fact that a top 15 player in the league is not top 20 in his own conference, in the shittier conference, in All-Star voting. Toronto Raptor fans, get out there and vote for Scottie Barnes. That's crazy. Nevertheless, Scottie Barnes did not do a lot of All-Star things tonight, but here's something All-Star-like from Scottie, which is a little turnaround fadeaway over Paolo Banchero, who is an atrocious defender, and truly, Scottie should have attacked him far more often. If you're wondering what happened to Desmond Bane tonight in the second half, well, here's something that happened to him. Scottie Barnes took the matchup. And Scottie Barnes took it very personally. I'm going to shut down Desmond Bane, and he really did. Here, you see it, right? Bane thinks he has a drive, but this is what we say with the team defense stuff, right? Colin Murray-Boyles sees this entire thing all the way through. Now, this is risky because Tristan Da Silva and Goga Batadze against Grady Dick if Desmond Bane makes this pass. But this is why you can't go too early. See, if he goes early right now, this is a quick pass. You have to time this perfectly, and he does. Cut off, and now commit. Because right now, I guarantee you, the pass is off the table. With CMB and Scottie there, the pass is off the table. No pass is happening to Goga Batadze. So, once again, Emmanuel Quickley is nowhere. Emmanuel Quickley is like, I'm just here so I don't get fined, man. You're doing nothing on the court. Perfectly fine. You're not going to recover out to Kane. You're probably not going to get this rebound. You're not getting the block. You're not going to box out Goga Batadze. You're not going to do jack shit, but it's okay. You got teammates who will do everything for you. No worries, man. You just go 0 for 6 and demand the basketball. Here, Colin Murray-Boyles takes a very tough tumble, very hard tumble down, and I immediately thought, shit, I think he broke his wrist, but thankfully he stayed in the game. And here, with 5.6 seconds to go, my question to you is, did anyone in the world think Emmanuel Quickley was actually going to make this shot? 4.5 seconds to go. You have to be able to get to the rim. You must get to the rim here. There's no shot blocker back. You have a G League guy in Kane. You basically have a rookie in Jace Richardson, and you slow down. Everyone thinks you're going to the rim. So maybe you think like, oh, I'm freezing the defense out. But you are 0 for 4 at this point, and you're terrible right now in terms of shooting the basketball. I don't have a big problem with this shot. I really don't. When you got it going, this is what you're paid to do. Right? I don't got a problem with it. But when you're not going, this is the type of shot that, like, I'd rather you just get to the rim, man. I would rather you just get to the rim, and you don't even time this properly. Like, my God. Like, I understand they're not going to call a timeout here, but it's like, you got to take the final shot. You don't even take the final shot because you don't even see the clock. You're just like thinking. And there's this quote from Emmanuel Quickley in one of the Open Gym episodes where he says, when I'm out there, I'm not thinking. And I'm like, man, truer words have never been spoken by an athlete, right? Like, you've got Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter. You got, I mean, at the point of decision making, think about this, right? You just have no big back. Bigs are all on the other end. The paint is wide open. Jacoby is wide open. Jacoby is actually hitting his shots. Grady's been hitting his shots. You've got teammates who actually hit their shots. You're cold. But somehow, because you demanded the basketball because you weren't doing jack shit on defense, you're the one who has the right to make the shot. Immanuel Quickley needs to take a very, very long look in the mirror and just make a decision on the type of player he's going to be, because he hurt his team so badly tonight. Continuing on with the Immanuel Quickley Cook session, the Raptors down 8. Why are you so fucking open? You're not stopping anything here. You're not on the balls of your feet. You're not anticipating. You don't look reactive at all. And here, you're about to get destroyed on the left side. I can see from a standstill, from this snapshot alone, I can tell you're about to get blown by. You're way too high up. You're not angling. You're not taking anything away. If nothing else, you should be forcing middle. You should be closing off the left hand, and you should be forcing him middle, because that's where Scottie is. But no, you're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to give a clean blow by, and nobody can help you. And then to make matters worse, you foul. Cool, man. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You want to give me a Christmas gift, Bobby Webster? Trade him. Okay. The Raptors down 10. I said Jacoby Walter is so underrated, and he really is. Here, Anthony Black struggling to dribble, right, against the pressure. But there's a reason he's struggling to dribble. This is a point guard. This is a guy who played point guard in Division I. This is a guy who's been playing point guard for 3 years for the Atlanta Magic. But Jacoby Walter's pressure here and doggedness. How many times did Jacoby hit the ground tonight? And just getting this ball and refusing to let it be a tie-up. You know, sometimes guys, they get the ball and they don't even want the ball. They somehow get the ball and they allow the guy to tie them up. He's like, nah. He just gets him away, gets the ball to Scottie Barnes, and here comes Scottie. Now, this was a very weird possession in which everyone was playing hot potato with the basketball. It's almost like nobody wanted to score. Ochai stops his cut short. Pass to Scottie. Attacks. Wendell Carter decides, I'm going to go. This was not the possession I was actually talking about. This was a good possession. There was a further possession later in the game that was a little bit hot potato-y. I'm sure we're going to look at it. I said, keep going, B.I. I like this. Brandon Ingram one-on-one against Anthony Black. Yeah, I'll take my chances on this. I'll take my chances on this for sure. This is beautiful. This is a wide open shot for him. Wide open in his sleep. Glorilla going wild. Angel Reese going wild. Love it. Love it. Jacoby. Man, Jacoby Walter came up huge tonight. Beautiful play. Magic totally misplayed this. Desmond Bane totally forgets about the inbounder. And here, Jacoby Walter does not need that much space. And he hits it. And he hits it. And what do you know? It is officially a 5-point game. This is how you got back into the game. Jacoby Walter, CMB, Brandon Ingram, Scottie Barnes, Jamal Shead. That's how you did it. Here we go. Brandon Ingram. Step back. Boom. 104-102. The Raptors finally lead. I write, if Darko puts Quickley in right now, I'm starting the petition. I don't give a fuck. Countrymen, no countrymen, Chachuk, Serbia, don't care. If you are going to continue to make my favorite team lose basketball games because you have an irrational, delusion about who Immanuel Quickley is, I will fucking start the change.org petition to fire your ass. Like, I will do it. Okay? I said the defense is insane. Watch this defense. 105-102. Number one. CMB pokes it away. Beautiful. Here, Tristan Da Silva. Watch Brandon Ingram on the contest. Look at the contest on that shot. Oh my God. 7'3" wingspan. And he forces it short. And here, this is gone. Like, this is 100% bucket. Like, if I freeze this right now, you're like, is Wendell Carter going to make the shot? Yeah, Wendell Carter's going to make the shot. No, he's not going to make this shot because Scottie Barnes swats it away. Yes, sir. On a night where you don't have it offensively, what can you do to help your team win? And Scottie did everything down the stretch to help his team win, from tipping shots, making passes, getting in, just getting his hands on the basketball. I said CMB's playmaking has been so underrated tonight. Look at this. Here, draw 2 defenders. Paolo totally misplays this. No rim protector in the paint. CMB can't finish. This is going to be trouble for CMB until he figures it out, until he gets stronger. He can't finish around the paint right now. He's a below the rim finisher. And if he was an above the rim finisher, he would have been a top 3 pick. Okay. So straight up, like take what you can. He's got magneto hands. He's active. He's smart. He plays the right way. He's taking shots that he's supposed to take. Just can't finish around the paint right now. And that's perfectly fine. He'll get it. He'll get it eventually. But, make some free throws. I said, make this, Scottie. On the upside, Carter fouls out. Listen, very often there are plays where Scottie Barnes can go up for a dunk and he chooses to do something else. This is one of those plays. Okay? Here. You mishandle the basketball. Play off 2 feet. Stop with this finesse bullshit and dunk the basketball. Just find the strength in your legs. You are 6'9" with a 7'4" wingspan. You could pretty much dunk by getting like 12 inches off the ground, man. Like, just dunk. Go up with more force. Stop looking for fouls. Like, just go up. Now, so luckily, he made both free throws, which is great. And that puts the Raptors comfortably up. And now here, they make a shot. I said, okay, let's watch this play. I don't love this shot. There's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, I don't mind this pass going out to Jacoby Walter. I don't believe in the seniority pecking order bullshit that Darko does, where every single final shot has to be a Brandon Ingram fadeaway. It doesn't need to be. It becomes too predictable. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You don't need to play like this. And I don't know why the Raptors insist on playing like this, but this is not great. Scottie does not get the offensive rebound. And with 18, 17, 16 seconds to go, they now have the chance to tie. Now, that's tough. They run 10 seconds off the clock and Paolo decides to call a timeout because the ball doesn't end up in his hands. And so he's like, no. I want the basketball. I'm Paolo Banchero. I'm the max player. Cool. So now you got the basketball. You get the ball on the inbounds and you take this stupid ass handle with your bullshit ass basketball. I think Paolo is so overrated. It's ridiculous. And you decide step back 3. That's the hero that I want to be. Why not mix it up? Go to the basket. You see a shot blocker on the court? The tallest player on the court is 6'8", 6'9", and he's on you. You think maybe going to the basket might be a good idea? You're getting fouls. You're going to get the call. Go to the basket. You're down 2. You're down 1. Sorry. Like everyone, does everyone in the NBA just not pass grade 2 math? Why do people take threes when they're down 1? Like, if nothing else, I'm almost playing you for the 3 here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I don't want to trust the referees to give me the call on the road. Like, come on, man. You've given calls all night. Here, just a reminder to Magic FC, Scottie Barnes is better than Paolo Banchero. He's been better his whole career. Maybe one season, Paolo had a better season, which was last year. But overall, Scottie's having a much better career. So that's where we are, 40 minutes into this live. I present to you with that. If there are callers, please call in. We got 642 people in here. I'm sure some people want to call in. Let me put the call in link in the description. I would love to hear from people in terms of what they thought of Mo Bamba, what they thought of Scottie Barnes tonight, what they thought of Ingram's game, although a little inefficient, what they thought of Jamal Shead, what they thought of Emmanuel Quickley finally getting benched, Darko growing some balls. Definitely call in. And, we can definitely have that conversation. If you are somebody who watched my breakdown of Mo Bamba, I hope, to some extent you saw the good and bad tonight of Mo Bamba. I think we all kind of got the full texture of it, right? Like there wasn't, hopefully we don't have the honeymoon period, right? Someone said Cavs are playing good again. Yeah. I mean, let's take a look at where the Eastern Conference is right now. I mean, the Raptors, the Magic were right on their tails tonight, right? So in and of itself, you avoid catastrophe in that sense. Here are the standings. The Raptors moved to 20-14, which is just amazing. You are now half a game back of Boston. Boston played tonight. Did they not? Did Boston play tonight? Let's check it out. So Cleveland beats San Antonio. Yikes. OKC beats Atlanta, but not by as much as you would think. New York pulls it out in the end against New Orleans, which is great. Minnesota ends up outlasting Chicago by blowing them out. It was a really close game up until about the third quarter, and then boom, it just took over. The Indiana Pacers make it a lot closer than you would think against Houston. They pulled back, like they were down like 20 plus. So that's interesting. New York makes a comeback win against New Orleans. Kind of saw that coming. You know, that game was New Orleans was up. I want to say New Orleans was up like 4 or 5 points. 3 points going into the fourth quarter, and you're like, yeah, Jalen Brunson going to bring them home. The Raptors complete, of course, a crazy comeback. Miami, Denver was interesting because Jokic does get injured, and now he was on a tear in this game, right? 21 points in 19 minutes. So clearly, you know, prayers up to Nikola Jokic, my countryman, one of my favorite players in the world, favorite players of all time. I talk a little bit of shit, Shea being better than Yoke because, you know, I think it's funny because I don't like Swiper very much, but obviously, like Yoke's like one of my favorite players of all time. We got Coach Mo in the house. Coach Mo, what up, man?
Man, I'm here for the IQ slander. So, listen.
Okay.
I was watching that, like, what was it? What was it, like a 13-0 run? Whatever we were doing in that fourth quarter, okay? And we were making that comeback. Every time down the court, I looked at the bench. I mean, every single time I looked at the bench to make sure Emmanuel Quickley was still there.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't enough that he wasn't on the court. I needed to make sure he was still on the bench. I had to lock eyes on him every time down the court. It's crazy. Because he's in this slump. Bro, I knew he wasn't a point guard. I didn't know it was like this. And if, like, I have a question, and even for chat. Going into this season, right? Let's say we're talking September.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody said Emmanuel Quickley or Anthony Black, right now, who's better?
I think I like Black's defense so much more.
So you would have said Anthony Black is the better player right now.
Right now?
No,
yeah, for sure.
If this was a summertime.
Summertime, I would have picked Emmanuel Quickley.
Yeah. What would you say right now?
Anthony Black for sure, man.
Yeah. The amount of player, because when you say he needs to be off the ball, here's the problem with him off the ball. Mm-hmm. The things we want him to do off the ball, you can get a G League player to do those things that can make shots because he's not guarding anybody. Emmanuel Quickley ain't going to stop nobody on defense, right? Sure. He's a weak link defensively. So you don't want him on the ball. What's the point of him then?
Do you know what he reminds me of?
Shots.
Do you know what he reminds me of?
What?
He reminds me of this. Look at the screen.
Yeah.
This is what he reminds me of. Every time he gets up off the bench, this is what I think he's about to do to our offense. Like, I just think, like, he's about to come and murder.
No. So I've actually taken some notes, okay, watching it. This is how bad he is at running the show, okay? In the first quarter, CMB enters the game. He pushes, right? Emmanuel Hook's like, okay, I'm going to push. Semi-transition. He finds CMB in the corner early.
Mm-hmm.
He's open for a reason, bro. CMB shoots the three, misses. No one contested it. You can get that shot 15 seconds later. Okay. Yeah. Do you remember the first lob to Mo Bamba? He nearly killed Mo Bamba. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Mo Bamba nearly died trying to get that lob. He's going to learn a hard lesson. If Emmanuel Quickley throws you a lob, be careful.
Mm-hmm. Santonio 700 said, why are y'all like this? Last year was RJ, now it's IQ. Toronto fans drive their stars out of town instead
Ooh,
of rallying.
Stars. Did he say stars?
He did say stars. So, okay, let's put it this way. I think that Emmanuel Quickley, I like Emmanuel Quickley. I liked Emmanuel Quickley a lot.
I don't.
I used to. Okay, let me say recovering. It's okay to change your mind. It actually shows. I think it's a sign of intelligence that you can change your mind about players when new evidence, is something we joke about on PC. We say new evidence, new information. I think once you've seen Emmanuel Quickley play on the ball this much, you're just like, okay,
you can't unsee it when you're looking for it. It's disgusting when you're looking for it.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do. And you know what? I think this is as much a Darko problem as it is an Emmanuel Quickley problem, because I think Emmanuel Quickley's clearly not a selfish dude. Like, I don't feel like, just to anyone who watched the entire Fred VanVleet saga play out, I don't think this is a personality thing with him. I really don't. He's a hardworking dude. He's made himself into he's made himself into a starter in the NBA. I think the problem is role definition.
We made him a starter. He's not a starting caliber player. I'm not buying that.
I think there's a lot of teams
where he can be the fifth starter. He can be the fifth starter depending on who the other four guys are, but that doesn't mean you're a starter.
No, I agree with you. And I think the fact that he got paid what he got paid kind of immediately put the target on his back, where people were like, okay, you believe in him. Yeah, you believe in him 165 million. Let's see what's up. And I think the Raptors have this, it's like a little bit like the Trae Young thing with Atlanta. You remember when Atlanta traded Luka Doncic to get Trae Young?
Yeah.
And everyone said they were insane, but they were like, no, we're right. And then for like 2 seconds, it seemed like maybe they knew what they were doing, because Trae Young came out in Summer League and he looked really good. But then Luka played his first game as a rookie and they were just like, okay, y'all fucked up so bad. But then 4 years later, they were still trying to put the side-by-side comparison between the two players and be like, look, they're both averaging 27 points. And we're like, we know y'all fucked up. We know this is not close. We know that these two players are planets apart. It doesn't matter what engine you show. It doesn't matter what box plus minus. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. We know that there's a qualified, quantifiable difference between these two players. But the Atlanta Hawks just kept beating the dead horse. No, we didn't make a mistake. We got an all-star too. I think the Raptors are very invested in, we made the right decision with Jakob Poeltl. We made the right decision with Emmanuel Quickley. Whereas logic says cut your losses before they become double losses and triple losses, right? Chasing bad losses is what degenerate gamblers do. See, I didn't take Bobby Webster to be a degenerate gambler prior to this season, but right now I'm just like, okay, this is what we're doing now. So you overpay a guy that probably, based on his skill set, did not have any business earning that contract. You overpaid for a guy, frankly, in Jakob Poeltl that you had no business trading for in that moment. You also kind of made a weird trade for Brandon Ingram that not most people agreed with. And now it's like all three players are technically victims of their own role definition, because in theory, Emmanuel Quickley is a good player. Brandon Ingram's a great player. You have Jakob Poeltl's a perfectly fine center. But it's when you start overpaying these guys, it's when you start overloading your roster to feature them, and you're trying to justify the role, right? Like with Jakob Poeltl, I think we can hopefully both agree he's not Jokic, right? He's not. We got Recruiter Dude in the house. Recruiter Dude, what's up, man?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I wasn't following the conversation for the last 2 minutes because I was trying to fix my camera. What did I miss?
Emmanuel Quickley and the Raptors not. The Raptors insist on
losses.
The Raptors insist on trying to justify their own bad moves by doubling down and tripling down. So effectively, it's very clear to me what Emmanuel Quickley's role should be on this team, off ball or sixth man. But unfortunately, you've paid him so much that now you have to justify the contract that you stupidly paid him. And I was comparing it to how the Atlanta Hawks overfeature Trae Young to justify trading Luka Doncic to get him. A little bit like that.
Do you remember that interview he did when he was in Nick? And the interviewer goes, Like, describe who you are. Like, describe your play style, or like who are you? And he's like, I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Forget the part that he's not a point guard. Like, that's not even worth talking about. I saw Richardson's son just like look at him like a piece of meat. Like, you're nothing. Like, you're not even a point of attack. You don't have no deterrence at point of attack at all. So like this is a miscalculation. Like, that's pretty on our end.
Right.
Like, it's an enormous miscalculation. And like the last time I called in, I said, like, Rob, what 20 more games of this, or what are we gonna, like, we're gonna go crazy. So like there's already been like more than a handful of games to start the season where he's been not just poor, like bad.
Yeah.
And then now another 20, and it's like, how do you salvage the situation? And like that's what I'm hoping you have some ideas. Like, I'm willing to take a bad contract back. Like, I just don't want to. I don't enjoy watching him play. I didn't even enjoy watching him play in the great win yesterday. He made some big shots. Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
When he's out of the way. But he's out of the way making those shots.
Out of the way. Yeah.
I think last night he was overall bad, but he made shots. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to be really bad and just make shots, right? Like, your process can be terrible. You can not do a good job defensively. Like, it's just like, it's possible to be bad defensively and get a block, right? Like, the process of defense, it's also possible to be really great defensively and get scored on. Like, again, I played the averages out. If you're consistently doing the right things defensively and you're not like completely physically challenged, the average play is going to result in you winning the possession, right? It's the same thing with Jamal Shead. Like, Jamal Shead can do everything right and smoke a layup or miss a shot, but I'm never going to be mad at Jamal Shead. I don't think, have you, in all the lives that you guys have ever watched me like do, have you ever seen me say like a negative thing about Jamal Shead? Like, people, like, I know I've ripped Scottie to shreds. I know I have. I know I've ripped Brandon Ingram. I know I've ripped RJ Barrett. I know I've ripped Grady Dick. I know I've ripped Jakob Poeltl. I've even, had a couple of shitty things to say about Jacoby Walter, although those are rare.
The only thing he said is that he didn't exceed his value at 40th, but then I think you might have pivoted and changed your mind about that.
Yeah, that's I think the only thing that I could remotely say is like he hasn't drastically overshot the value of a 45th overall pick who was a senior coming out of college. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were comparing it to Isaiah Thomas.
Someone said can't rip Shed, bro. He's like 5'11". You haven't heard me talk about Trae Young and Fred VanVleet, have you? You don't understand, bro. I am way more critical of players who are my size than I am players who are like taller than me.
Shed's not 5'11" when he has the afro. So just saying.
That is true. He is a good 6'4" with the afro. But no, the reason I don't rip him is because his process is almost always right. Number one, he shows up every night. He's a dog. He's a true dog, like an actual dog. He fights hard defensively. Some nights he's going to be bad because he's going to get cross-matched with a 6'8" guy who's just going to shoot over him. But I can't blame you for something you physically cannot do. Just like if, I don't know, Scottie Barnes is doing his best to box out and, I don't know, Victor Wembanyama soars over him. I'm not going to get mad at Scottie Barnes and I'm be like, you couldn't stop 7'5" Victor Wembanyama from grabbing a ball over you. That's physics. I'm not stupid. It's when you don't get back in transition that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So it's always a process-based critique with me. Like, it was the same thing with Fred VanVleet. I never glazed his 2020 game against Charlotte because I thought it was stat padding and bullshit. And I remember there was a game where Fred played off the ball and allowed the ball to breathe and go through Scottie and Pascal, and it was early in the season, and I think he shot like 2 for 12, and I was like, this is a great game for Fred VanVleet, and people were like, I can't figure this out, and it's like, yeah, you can't, because I don't care about the results. I genuinely don't care if you score 50 points. If you took, like, imagine this, like, this is like a more philosophical question. Let's say today the Raptors were down 107-106, right? And Emmanuel Quickley's on the court. And Emmanuel Quickley pulls up from half court with 4 seconds to go. and confidently knocks down a shot. And we win the game. I will be up here petitioning for him to be to have him waived. But Raptor fans will be like, the guy's Steph Curry.
No, they're gonna say he's a dog.
He's a dog. Look at the confidence to take the half-court shot. And this is my point. I don't care about what you did. I care about the average result of what you tried to do. That's all it is. You know, it's like if I ran a company and I have this super hard worker who makes his calls every single day, and he does his cold calls and he does his prep and he comes in and he doesn't make a sale for like 2 weeks, but he tries to get better every day. That's going to be my favorite employee. Whereas I might have an employee who luckily falls into 4 sales because he gets into the right elevator, and he's like not going to be my favorite employee because he's lazy and he's not prepared and he doesn't take his work seriously. I very, very process. I'm like absurdly process focused. I don't know if it's the Asperger's or whatever. Like I just have like this insane, like this thing that you did produces negative results 90% of the time. I can never stand by it, even if it produced positive results once.
You know what, Rob? You know what? As a guy who's been in sales like my whole life, you would be a tough sell. Like there's things that you have to understand. Like when you go into a meeting, right? The guy who's the purchaser, if he has like the analytical approach to everything, if he has your like dimension of thinking, like it's a losing battle because you're not listening, you're not playing with my emotions and getting into this sort of like drama that I'm trying to bring to the table. You're kind of like focused on what's actually at hand, and those are the toughest sells, right? The salesperson is the guy you sell. Because the salesperson's like, they'll buy anything. I'll buy anything, right? So salespeople play off of each other, and those people will actually climb the ranks because of their charisma, etc. It's the guy who's analytical who kind of stay like, you know, the partner in crime to Billy Bean in like Moneyball, that
Jonah
guy,
Hill.
Jonah Hill. So whoever is Quickley's agent did an amazing job.
Yeah,
They sold that contract like. That's a great agent. And I'm not in the sports business. And that's one dimension that we have to like just accept that it's a part of it. Unfortunately, like
that guy didn't look at the numbers. He didn't bring the analytics to the table.
You know what? Here's what I think the contract negotiation went like.
Was the revolver involved?
No.
Okay.
I think Quickley's agent came to the table thinking, let's see if we can get 28 million. Let's start at 28. We won't go below 24, but let's see if we can get 28. And so they walk in, and Bobby Webster's like, listen, we have some cap flexibility issues going forward. We have some big contracts. We really want to get a flat contract on the board. So we want to give you a flat contract. How we can make it work with you guys, but we want a flat contract. And then I think at that point, the guy just, I don't know, he was probably thinking of Magic Johnson or something. He's like, how's 32? And you know, Quickley's agent's like 32.5 and you have a deal. And they're like, sold. I think that's what the entire negotiation went like.
Why do they call, okay, if what I'm confused is they say Bobby is like a cap wizard. How are you a cap wizard and hand IQ that contract? How do both things, how?
Here's the thing, like he's not a stupid person. Like I'm not trying to cast aspersions needlessly. Like I think he's a smart guy, but there's something missing there. There's something that like doesn't make sense, right? And not just on the back of his poor play this season. Like he was never that good.
Never. We've had conversations about, Rob, you've had conversations about Raptors sign contracts where there's like no upside. You want, if the player,
careful with the microphone. You're rubbing the microphone.
If the player exceeds the contract, then it's a win for you. But if the player, you know, underperforms, then, you know, you kind of lost that contract. We're signing contracts where the Raptors don't win. IQ can never live up to this contract.
Yeah. I think the problem with IQ is they made the same mistake that they made with Ken Birch, which is they over trusted April stats. Right. There's a period of time in the NBA where tryhards are like gonna get numbers. Malachi Flynn got numbers. Luke Jackson got numbers. Jalen Harris, who's currently out of the league, got numbers. There's some big performances that these guys have put up. I'm sure there's going to be a Svi Mihajlovic 40 ball at some point in April when no one is trying to play basketball. There's just like a dead space in basketball on the basketball schedule, and Emmanuel Quickley destroyed that dead space. He destroyed it.
In a losing season. It's not even like we're a playoff team that's just winding down to get into playoff. We sucked, and it was April.
Were they willing to walk away? That's what I want to know. Like there must have been some.
Well, see, this is the problem. So the Raptors, okay, so it's cascading problem, and it's the pre-agency problem. I consider it the pre-agency problem. If you look at Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Poeltl, 3 contracts that I think are all a little bit rich given the market value. Now, Ingram again is having a pretty decent season. 40 million is still rich. I think we can all agree that 40 million is a little rich for Brandon Ingram, given his injury history, given the season he was coming off of, given his age, given the fact that you gave him a player contract, given the fact that it was a short-term deal, that he gets to bet on himself twice. I think that a reasonable front office would have been looking at 32, but they gave 40. You look at pre-agency as a way to skirt around the fact that you don't have success in free agency. The problem with pre-agency, though, is the negotiation is always in the other team's hands because you've already gifted assets to get the player in the door, right? So whereas with free agency, you can walk away. There's no consequence. When the Houston Rockets approach Fred VanVleet and they say, listen, we want to sign you to, 35 million. And Fred's like, well, the Raptors are offering me 35 million for 4 years. And they're like, well, we'll give you 43 for 2 years. Fred can just go with the Houston offer, the Raptors offer. Nobody really loses anything. But when Jakob Poeltl comes to you and says, listen, I've got 15 million from the Spurs, but if you want me to stay in Toronto with all the taxes, I'm going to take 20. You can't just walk away because you already gave up a first round, 2 second round picks.
Yeah, but Rob, 1 second. Rob. There was 2 players in the OG deal. So it's like if you keep RJ and walk from Quickley, it's bad. It looks bad, but you're not dead.
But they didn't do the deal. But they didn't do that deal for Emmanuel Quickley. They didn't do the deal for RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett was a throw-in. They did it for Quickley.
Oh, but like
yeah,
I don't think
that's unfortunate. But
was he a throw-in? Really? He has value.
Not
at the time he didn't.
Not really.
Knicks wanted to get rid of him.
I think RJ Barrett's value has gone up a lot since that day. But at the moment that they made the trade, his contract was a little bit like how you look at Emmanuel Quickley right now. Like IQ was the target because they were thinking, we want a movement shooter next to Scottie Barnes. We don't trust Scottie Barnes to play full-time point guard, but we don't want a traditional point guard next to him because we need spacing. So they had this idea of like, who's the closest thing to Jamal Murray that we can get on this team? And Jamal Murrays don't grow on trees. And they thought maybe we can turn Emmanuel Quickley into Jamal Murray. I think it's a bad bet. Number one, he doesn't have the pull-up jump shot. He can't pull up. I don't know if people realize this. If he puts it down, he has the same problem as like. It's so funny that we traded OG Anunoby, who is a lackluster offensive player, for 2 considerably better offensive players, or at least more polished offensive players. And yet, right now, I think I trust OG more on a pull-up jump shot than either one of these guys in the mid-range, based on their shot function alone. It's kind of funny. Because Emmanuel Quickley on a pull-up jump shot is just like, it's nothing. It's either catch and shoot, pull up in transition with like 5-6 feet of space, or right to the rim, or a floater. There's no in-between game. And that's where I say, like, maybe you're best trading for someone like Malik Monk, where there is an in-between game. Even a DeMar DeRozan, who I wouldn't suggest trading for now, given his advanced age, there is an in-between game. There is like that punishing element of the defense where you can't just stop short on the drive. With Quickley, it's all feast or famine. That's why he's so easy to stop, because you can just, like, when he puts the ball on the ground, you're like, I got to meet him at the rim. I can cut the difference and just meet him at the rim. I don't have to guard him the whole way through. Whereas you see with like other players like Jamal Murray, if you over stress the rim finish, he just pulls up and shoots over you.
The main difference is those players, you can play perfect defense and they'll score. If you play perfect defense on Emmanuel Quickley, he's not scoring. Emmanuel Quickley cannot score under duress. If you watch him play, and I've been watching him carefully, I've been basically hate watching. When he scores, it's either he's wide open or the defense has made a mistake. Like somebody who shouldn't be guarding him is guarding him, and they're giving him too much space. They're backpedaling. Somebody went under a screen. There was miscommunication, so he got to the rim. He can't generate his own looks, and then it's the compounding factor of his release isn't fast and he shoots low. He doesn't take contested threes. How often do you watch him and you think, dude, you were open enough, take the shot, right? You were open enough, take the shot. No, I'm gonna give it to Jamal Shead or CMB, and they'll take a wide open three.
He melts on modest coverage, like a double team. He's dead. He can't.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Anyways, yeah. I mean, like, what'd you think of the comeback tonight? Like, enough of Emmanuel Quickley. Like, fuck him. You know, he wasn't on the court. He wasn't on the court. What'd you think of Jamal Shead? What'd you think of the comeback? Like, let's just shift away from Emmanuel Quickley talk because I have Darko question. Finally benched him. I don't want to devote an entire post game to talking about him.
I have a question.
What
were your guys' thoughts when Grady Dick was the first guy off the bench and not the first guy off the bench? Grady got in before Jacoby. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were I hope Grady has a good game.
Okay. I'm actually getting a little bit annoyed with Darko's love of Grady, to be honest. It's starting to kind of like bother me. Like I want Battle to play more.
This guy inverted my name. That's so funny. This dude been hating on every single Raptors point guard for the last 3 years. What position does Jamal Shead play, dude?
Ooh, good question. What position? Yeah, no, it's true.
Dumbass. Anyways, okay. Sorry, you said
he's annoyed with Darko's love of Grady.
I think he has some type of like bias with him. Like he features regardless of. Well, I mean, he's developing him, but like at the same time, I mean, by the way, Jacoby. I think this was a definitive moment in his career tonight. Like he was
back to back games. No.
Well,
hasn't this been like 3 good games for him in a row?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect.
His tenacity, and you combine that with CMB, it's funny. Post game, Shead was being interviewed. He didn't even mention CMB. CMB was like, we don't win this game without CMB. Are you kidding me? He was unbelievable.
I agree. So Jacoby in the last 3 games, 15 points in the loss against Washington. He shot 71% from the field. Last game was 18 points, and he shot 60% from the field. And tonight, 10 points, 7 rebounds, tenacious defense, 2 steals, shoots 33% from the field, but totally forgivable. I think Jacoby's been awesome, man. 3 games. And I just think it's interesting because people are like, it's such a mistake. We drafted him. Look, I can agree he's not AJ Mitchell, but AJ Mitchell was not in the mix at 19 for most teams. AJ Mitchell was like a late first, early second guy. So, yeah, I'm really hoping and praying that something good comes out of Jonathan Mobo at some point because he's looked a little bit lost in his limited minutes.
I don't see how you can fit Mobo in with Barnes and CMB already on the roster. I just don't see how you can even squeeze him in. It's just so awkward.
I think the shot has to come like a really, really long way. But you know, like he's such a late bloomer in life. Like he's figured it out so late that I'm really, really hoping that sometime around 23, 24, 25, somewhere in the middle, like there's a pop in his game where the jump shot just becomes remarkably better with Jonathan Mobo because the defense is very real. Like he's really good. He's a big part of why the 905 are as good as they are. So I'm still hoping for him to become something better than what he's been. But yeah, like I mean, this game was really gutsy, man. You don't expect a team on a back-to-back, especially on the second night of a back-to-back, to have any gas down the stretch. You just don't. 24-hour turnaround, overtime win yesterday, very emotional. And you know, they got better as this game went on, and I can't ignore it. This is a character.
Defense.
This is a character win.
This is a defensive win. They scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. Defense won us this game. Yeah. Orlando scored 12 points.
Orlando scored 12 points. Yes.
Yeah. They scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. And sometimes, like, yeah, Scottie, CMB, Shed.
Right.
I mean, my God, the spacing. But give me the consistent defense and the consistent effort, right? And the heightened defensive IQ. I'd rather take that.
There's something about Paolo that is just so unlikable. Like, he's so overrated.
Right.
Do you guys think so? Like, he tried for this Durant finish. Like, who the hell do you think? Sit down, man.
And he wanted nothing to do with Scottie Barnes. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. When he's trying to score on Scottie Barnes, it looks like, you know those cartoons when they say, hold me back, and the guy lets him go, and he's like, hey, I said hold me back. Like, it's fake. I'm going to pretend to try to score on this guy and then pass the ball. He wanted nothing to do with him. When he went one-on-one with Scottie Barnes and said, this guy's not scoring. We're going, you know, we're going to win this game. This is over.
Yeah. I think Scottie's defense got better as the game went on. It's almost like he didn't think we were going to win this game, and at some point, Jamal Shead just took the lead and took the reins, and Scottie was like, oh shit, I better participate in this win. I did not love Scottie's approach in this game at all to start. I thought he was very, very poor. But it is interesting. There was a couple guys with Raptors implications who didn't play tonight. Orlando Robinson, former Raptor last year, and Jet Howard. And Jet Howard is interesting because he actually went 2 picks above Grady. So to everyone who complains about Grady, please know it could be worse. You could have picked Jet Howard in that same draft. What do you guys think of Mo Bamba?
I mean, it's not enough time to really have a intelligent conversation. What was it, 4 minutes he played?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can't block a shot and everyone just stand there and watch. That wasn't great. Like, he blocked, I think, 2 shots in one possession. He can't block the shot, block the other shot, and then rebound. He can't do everything. People have to help out.
I don't know. I don't know why the box score shows him having 1 block, because I thought he had 2 as well, but I'm going to trust the box score.
He had 2 in one possession.
If we're talking about the possession that I showed, or are you talking about another possession?
I counted like 3 blocks, or at least it was very interesting watching him deter people at the rim.
He did,
like,
dude.
Multiple possessions in a row, and they just said, yeah, we're done here. We're just going to pass it back out.
Yeah. Well, he didn't attempt a single shot in his 4 minutes. He didn't get a single rebound. And
he never spaced the floor either. Like, he didn't pop once, huh?
yeah. So I think this will be a really interesting couple of days for Darko to hopefully get him on board with what the Raptors are trying to do defensively and offensively. But you feel his size immediately, right? You really do. Like, he is a mammoth of a human being. A legit 7-footer with a 7'10" wingspan it's sci-fi, man. That's not even a real human being. Like, do me a favor, to anybody who has a measuring tape, take a measuring tape out. Okay? I'm not kidding. Take a measuring tape out and measure 7'10" across your wall. Now take a step back and look at that. What 7'10" looks like. When I try to explain to my girlfriend how tall Victor Wembanyama is, I always use a measuring tape because she's always blown away. Like, it's absurd. And now think about trying to take a jump shot over that dude. Like, I remember trying to take a jump shot over Javon Shepard in high school. Like, that was fucking crazy. You know, trying to take a jump shot over Leo Routens. That's crazy. Taking a jump shot over Mo Bamba, like, dude, like, give up, you know? So if he can lock in mentally and just approach things with if he can approach the situation with the right attitude, this is the type of talent like that hopefully could pop very big.
I like the signing. The irony though is that the day you sign him, CMB goes insane, and he was the author of all of those second chance points, like in the second and third, and like he was a pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting for his life, like what he was able to do. Like I think he's special, Rob. I really like this kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
He is another player that, like Jamal Shead, there's never an effort issue with him.
Never.
I think Jacoby's also very, very close to that, where there's never like, here's the thing. I think basketball is so mental. Like sometimes here are the players that I never ever question how they approach a game mentally. Jamal Shead, Colin Murray Boyles, Jacoby Walter 97% of the time.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett 95% of the time. Brandon Ingram 90% of the time. Sandro Mamakelish really 90% of the time. That's about it. Like those are my guarantees. Grady, we're throwing darts. We're throwing darts. Like we're a little like good day, bad day. Don't know if he's going to be spaced out. Scottie, honestly, we're playing Russian roulette here. You know, Emmanuel Quickley, I can pretty much guarantee you he's going to be bad for 3 quarters, good for 1 quarter every game. But yeah, like the mental approach to the game is so important that you lock in consistently, that you're dialed into your matchups, that you're not dropping passes, creating silly turnovers, you know, having these mental lapses defensively, ball squirts out of your hand, ball watching. Like the game is fast, man. Like you can't like, so I sometimes wonder with young teams, is that a consequence of youth that you haven't figured out how to get rest recovery? You were up all night doom scrolling on Instagram and now your brain isn't very sharp. Like, I don't know if that's the problem, because I remember there's this one time I met up with Brian and we were talking about Scottie, and you know, I was like, man, he's playing really, really well this last week. And he was like, yeah, he's been getting a lot of really good sleep. And I'm like, that right there, you know, like you need rest, you need recovery, you need to like approach games with a very consistent approach. And it's like Mo Bamba is a great example of how not to do that, because Mo is Russian roulette too. You know, it's like one game you got it, one game you don't got it. Well, it's one thing when you're 20 years old, teams will be forgiving of that. But when you're like a veteran, 3, 4, 5 years into the league, no. There's a video by Swish County, which I encourage everyone to watch as added information to everything I said about Mo Bamba. Someone sent it to me last night and they're like, have you seen this video? And I got to watching and it was interesting. And he was saying like at 25, teams just do not have the patience for a 7-footer who will either bring it or not bring it every night. I need to know. There has to be some sort of consistent J Huff level, you know, like this is what I'm getting from him every night. I'm getting rim to turns, I'm getting shot blocking, I'm getting rebounding, I'm getting like positive spacing and good screen setting, you know, like I can't be rolling the dice with someone every single night.
But
yeah,
in terms of the players that aren't good defensively, when their shot isn't falling, when they're not going offensively, you're like, this guy's dogging it. You will never think Shead's dogging it because he's such a good to great defender, right? Like when you're giving blow by, like you can be trying and you're just a horrible defender. And you're missing every shot. And it's like,
Jamal makes plenty of mistakes. The issue, the thing that I think with Jamal is a few things that help him out a lot. Number one, the movement is always positive. There's never head hanging. There's no like sluggish trotting. There's none of the hallmark of bad attitude. His attitude is always 100% positive, which lets you know that he's been really well coached and he's kept it regardless of all the bad body language around him. He keeps his body language perfectly good. Number one. Number two, there is like an energy to his movement at all times. Even when he gets beat, he still tries to recover. He still tries to close out. He still crashes the glass. Number three, he's intelligent. So he's almost always in the right place, even when he's the wrong person to be in that place. So that means he'll try to box out a guy who's a foot taller than him, give up the offensive rebound, but that's not his fault. He's doing everything he can. And then I think number four is there's always accountability with him. Like when he throws a bad pass and the camera pans to him, you can see him like saying, my bad. Always. There's always that accountability with him. And number five, I think there's a consistency of process with him. Like I can set a clock by him setting, like there's like if CMB sets a screen for him and CMB rolls hard and the defense doesn't recover, I can set a clock with him sending that pass to CMB and trusting CMB to make the cross pass to the corner. I can set a clock by that because he is like the epitome of consistent basketball. And that's what I appreciate about Jamal Shead. Yes, there isn't quite the size, athleticism, talent of Emmanuel Quickley, but there is a predictability to his process, which I think can settle things down for his teammates, right? And there is a positive intention to his process too, which is wanting to set your teammates up and find the hot hand and get guys touches. Like you'll see when Jamal is on the court, everybody seems to play a little bit better because people are almost always in rhythm with him. He gets the ball to you in your shooting pocket, not 2 feet out of your shooting pocket. You're not recovering very often. You know, he gets it to you when you need it, not after you needed it 2 seconds ago and you're already waving your hands. You know what I mean? Like there is a rhythm to point guardness. He's the only real point guard on this team. He and Scottie are the only guys who have that mentality of like, when I get past half court, how can I get the best shot for my team? Everybody else almost always is thinking, how can I get the best shot for myself? Okay, they took that away. Let me look for my option number B. So these two guys are always looking to set guys up. I think tonight BI was looking to set other guys up. It's good when you have guys doing that. Yeah, I'm just a really big fan of Jamal Shead, man.
You know, the thing that you said that's really important is like he doesn't hang his head, and that's Grady's problem. I'm kind of like, I mean, that kid's on the bubble, but you know, he has the effort. He's bringing it. He's like, you can't fault him for not trying really hard, but when he misses shots, like you can tell like his confidence is taking a hit. It's like
Grady
in year 3, you're so shaky. Like it's not good. You know, like
the Raptors could really use Grady to like have a really good 2-3 weeks here. Because I mean, they're like, okay, like we just got our 20th win. Last year we didn't get our 20th win until March. This year we got our 20th win before January, February, March. That's amazing. Like, if the math holds true, what's our record right now? Are we on pace for 50 wins right now?
Bro, stop.
No, I'm saying on pace. Are we on pace for 50 wins? Hold on, we're on pace for close to 50 wins. So 58.8 times 82.
While you look that up, people talk about the RJ.
We're on pace for 48.2 wins.
People talk about the RJ contract. I just pulled up the Raptors cap sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Shead, who's closing every game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a player option. Sorry, there's a team option next year for $2.29 million.
Yeah, we're picking that up.
We're picking that up. And then he's a free agent.
He's a restricted free agent.
If they pick up that team option, he's basically RJ. Timeline-wise.
Okay. Here's a question for you. Grady, Ochai, Jamal Shead. These guys are Sandro. These are all guys who are on short-term deals. Mo Bamba is another guy. These are all guys you're going to have to make decisions on probably this summer because you didn't make decisions on Ochai and RJ last summer. So RJ, reasonably, what is the contract value? Ochai, what's the contract value? Grady, what's the extension number that you're comfortable with? Is there an extension number? Do you want to extend him? Jamal Shead and Jonathan Mobo, again, these are guys whose contracts run out sooner, and Jameson Battles in the same boat. These are all guys who will be eligible for contract extensions. We complete the quartet with Lane calling in. That's great.
I promise you I just called in because of what Coach Mo just said, because I've been thinking that all night long.
Yeah, you're watching this guy carry the team at the point guard position. You're like, we're gonna have to pay this guy, and he's getting expensive every game. He's getting more expensive.
The good thing is he won't exceed what you probably can't afford. However, it gets very uncomfortable very quick. There's an easy way out of all this, and it's just offload quickly and whatever it takes, because then Jacoby's extension becomes affordable. RJ's 2 to 3 to maybe $4 million more a year he's going to need becomes affordable, and you get to keep Shed around long term, and you get Mamu's extension. I mean, there's one dude in the way of all this.
Well,
Simple.
two-ish.
Two.
It's two.
Yeah.
It's two guys with serious dead money.
You can't get rid of Yako with a back injury right now, as much as you might want to. I mean, but you can't get off it quickly.
Who's believing that 1 week thing? Who believes that?
Not me. It's going to be at least mid-January, in my opinion. There's no way. Or he'll come back and play a game and then be out again until mid or end of January. There's absolutely no shot.
Okay. So, I mean, cap does go up. Let's factor that in. Immanuel Quickley's contract is flat. Factor that in. So it's not quite the cascading effect of BI and Scottie's escalating contract, or RJ's 27 turned into 29. Jakob's 19 is also flat, at least for next year. It's flat. So it goes from 19 this year to 19 next year. Maybe this is why Bobby Webster thinks he's a cap genius, because he was able to flatten some contracts while others escalated. Point being, there will be a little bit of room. My view on this is CMB and Jacoby are like the two most positive value contracts on your books right now, because they're long-term deals attached to guys who are actually role players right away. Jamal Shead is a little more complicated because he only took the 3-year deal instead of a 4-year deal. Although the Raptors could have signed him to a 4-year deal, but they opted for the 3-year deal. Jamison Battle, whereas maybe earlier in the season I was like, like, will someone come and try to offer him a little bit more? I think he's gettable at like 3 million, 3.5, 4. Jonathan Mobile will be lucky to get anything more than a minimum right now, I think. So maybe you pray that he pops on his second contract, and that would be just excellent value for you, kind of like Aaron Wiggins style.
Any team would pay Jamison right now. They would happily take Jamison Battle.
For what though? 5 million, 6 million, 4 million, 3 million, 10 million?
I think between like $1 and $3 million bucks. Like, that's an easy decision.
Oh yeah, 2-way contract. He get the Caleb Houston money any day. But I'm saying like anything beyond 3 million for a defensive liability who can't do much other than shoot. That's very one-dimensional.
So frustrated right now because he's not featuring. So like he can't negotiate anything beyond probably $3 million bucks. But if he were playing, he probably could.
I trust his work ethic. I would. Okay, so let's come up with some contracts here. For Jamison Battle, I would do 3 years, 8 million. I think that would be fair.
Hard agree.
For Jamal Shead, I would do 24 million. 22 million. 22 million for 3 years. Is that too low?
I think it might look more like a player option on the third or fourth year.
Fuck the player options. No, leave that to Bobby Webster.
I know. I'm just saying, you know how it's going to be. It's going to be a very much, here's your 2 or 3 years and then go prove it. I think that's what's going to
make sure it's flat. Just make sure it's flat.
That's what's going to get us with BI, man. I almost feel like we're a dead man walking with BI, and that's why I hate the mortgage RJ for him if you're still going to have Quickley on the team.
Okay. So what's the contract that you would give so I'm assuming that we're all pretty much in agreement. Jamison Battle is around 3 million, but Jamal Shead, what's the most that you would offer him before you'd say, okay, test it out in restricted free agency? What's like the richest you could get? 24?
4 year 24.
So that's 6 million a year.
I think he'll take it. Like, what other team is going to offer a 6-foot guard? I'm not saying he's not great. I think he's great. I think he's amazing. But you got to think about how their front offices are thinking.
Yeah, but is he a starter though?
Well,
no.
if he's a starter,
I don't know if he's a starter. Quickley's just playing so bad that it's making him look better than he really is. But
the old
what's stopping him from being a starter? Is it just size? Shooting?
36 to 38% from 3 and a little floater.
No, he's not a starter in the NBA. No,
he's not.
He's a TJ McConnell. And if he's a TJ McConnell, that's best case scenario for you.
He can start in a pinch. He can close games, but he can't be a full-time 32-minute a night starting NBA point guard. I don't think he's good enough to do that.
You don't have to hide him defensively, though. Isn't that the funny thing? Like, that's a pretty big deal for a guy who's so small. You don't.
What's kind of amazing, and we don't talk about this at all, by the way. Do you know he's shooting 35% from the field?
Who is?
And Jamal Shead.
He's also taking bailout shots, though.
From the field?
Yeah.
He's taking bailout shots, though. Like if you look at the analytics, he's taking a lot of grenades.
He is.
Willingly.
Oh, for sure. I think that alone is going to sink his entire contract negotiation in a nutshell. Because, like, how do you justify shooting third? Like, if nothing else, it's going to limit and shrink his offers from other teams. 32% from three and 35% from the field. I mean, as much as I love Jamal Shead, Emmanuel Quickley had way better numbers than this.
Actually, wait a second. We were glazing on Peyton in the Boston loss, and he makes what, $7 million? Like, you can't pay more than that.
Peyton is so much better, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You can't pay more than.
Yeah, but Pritchard's next contract is going to be upwards of $20 million at least.
Agreed. So when Peyton signed that deal, I think you can make. And also, like, look at Jamal Shead's 3-point attempt rate, dude. 56.7% of his shots are 3-pointers right now. Like,
they're nades.
That's insane. More than half his shots come from three. I mean, at least that's future proof. In per 100 possessions, this is a guy who is remarkably. He's got a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. 13 assists to 3 turnovers. It is insane.
I know it's what we're talking about right now, but and I love Jamal Shead. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see another point guard that's not Scottie Barnes. I just don't. We've tried the small point guard thing now 3 times in a row. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Can we just like go point Scottie? Can we avoid the inevitable and just go point Scottie?
No, but you want to keep him. No, but Lane, you want to keep him on the team because he has great synergy with Scottie.
No, 100%. You want him as a bench guard, but like I'm done with starting a small point guard. Okay. If you have Scottie Barnes on your roster, there's no reason to start a point guard that's below 6'4" or 6'5". There's just not.
Yeah, I think who's more suited to point guard, Scottie or RJ?
Scottie, but it makes a lot more sense to have RJ at the 2 then. Because his size isn't going to necessarily hurt you. I mean, even if on the fucking box score they have RJ Barrett as the point guard, I don't care as long as Scottie Barnes is a lead ball handler.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Raptors offense has looked good with him leading in transition, but I think the half-court offense can get a little stagnant because he doesn't necessarily threaten he has the same Ben Simmons problem, but unlike Ben Simmons, he's not quite twitchy enough to get past this man at the dribble, off a live dribble. So it's a little bit complicated. But with him, you need to have like a really good secondary ball handler. Like you need to have a Malik Monk, Emmanuel Quickley level, secondary creator. Ideally, Jamal Shead, taller version of Jamal Shead would be amazing. Anyways, so Jamal Shead, I think 8 million would be a little rich. I think 6, but given the Raptors' propensity to, reward character, reward loyalty, reward tenacity, reward team culture, reward continuity, they'll overpay him. So if I'm saying he's worth 5, they're going to pay him 7. I know that. But let's just say anything under 8, and I won't cry about it. But if it's over 8, I will complain. What about RJ Barrett? What contract has RJ Barrett earned at this point?
Is this with or without Quickley on the team?
That's a big question.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you have to factor this in with Quickley on the team because I don't think anyone's trading for Quickley.
Yeah, he's not getting over 25 million with Quickley on this team, and he's walking to go somewhere else. Unfortunately,
who's paying him more than 25 million?
That's
what I really want to know.
I think Miami would give him 25 million right now.
They have cap space.
I mean, they're getting Wiggins off the books.
Okay, can we just do a sign and trade and get Andrew Wiggins?
I think Wiggins is going to LA.
Fuck. I don't think he's gonna get 25, dude. I don't see
really do.
Like they have to pay Norman Powell too. You know that, right? You forgot about that.
I think they get Hero off the books too. They're not
getting Hero off the books.
I think so. I think they're gonna try to make a splash trade.
But if you're gonna make a trade with Hero, you're not dumping salary.
No, you're not necessarily dumping it, but it might be we trade for the younger player on a cheaper contract, and we're giving you the more proven guy right now.
Why is Miami so bad now? I don't understand. Like, they have a good team.
Well, they won tonight against the hobbled Nuggets. I I don't know. I think a lack
I
of
want RJ Barrett back
creation.
though. But no matter what, I want RJ Barrett back.
You can't keep RJ and Mamu. I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. It's called get rid of Quickley.
Okay,
I mean,
so Jovic's extension kicks in next year, so there goes some of your cap space. You have Bam Adebayo earning $50 million.
insane.
Sorry. Tyler Hero is $33 million, and then he's an unrestricted free agent.
He's an
he's expiring next year. Andrew Wiggins has I believe, player option. Is that a player option? Green is a player option. So Andrew Wiggins is not declining the $30 million player option. So there goes any hope of that out the door.
But he's getting swapped for like Marcus Smart and something else. Like it's going to happen at the trade deadline.
Okay, well, if it happens, we'll see. But like right now, he's a player option on their books. Terry Rozier comes off their books. Norman Powell goes from 20 million to presumably 25 plus. Davion Mitchell's contract's on the books at 12 million, which I think is a criminal overpay. Fontecchio, would they want to re-sign him? Possibly. Jaime Jaquez is actually going to command a pretty penny as well. I don't think they have the cap space for RJ Barrett. I don't. I think their roster is not situated for him. I understand why you would think that he was fitting for him. And I'm looking at other teams that could use RJ Barrett. Milwaukee would be a decent fit for him. Detroit, if they weren't already so loaded. Charlotte would be perfectly fine. Memphis would be fine. Utah would be fine. It's basically a lot of really bad teams. Brooklyn would be a really interesting place for RJ Barrett as well as a free agent destination.
Portland makes a little bit of sense.
Makes no sense. Denny Avdia and Tumani Kamara are your best players. Why would you, with Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, why would you ever pay that much for a backup guard?
You think Drew's going to be on this team next year?
Whether he is or not, Damian will be. And Dame Lillard is a franchise legend. He's going to start. I think, I mean, it doesn't matter. You got Shaedon Sharpe too. Like, I forgot about Shaedon Sharpe. Got Scoot Henderson. Like, Blazers make no sense to me. So, who else? The Clippers, maybe, if they ever had cap space. Philly, but not really, because they got VJ Edgecombe. Plus, they have Paul George's contract. OKC, never. Atlanta. So, a team that is already having buyer's remorse on their first overall pick from last year is Atlanta. Zachary Sachet. Would you make a trade for Zachary Sachet revolving around Grady Dick and Ochai Agbaji? Would you just trust length and size?
Say that again.
Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji, and picks for Zachary Sachet.
How tall is Reese Sachet again? Is he like 6'9"?
6'9". What are the picks?
Like 2 seconds.
Oh, yes.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to swap out Quickley with Trey.
I really hate Trae Young, but he's so much better than Emmanuel Quickley.
He is so much better than Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah. If we paid Atlanta a pick to get off Quickley's contract, and we swap him out with Trey.
But Trey makes so much more money than Quickley, so it just complicates your RJ Barrett situation even more.
Well, how much is left on his term though for Trey? What's his term compared to Quickley?
His term is he's got a player option next year, which he will probably pick up at $48 million.
I'll eat it.
And also, like from what I've heard, really, really not a player that people like to play with. So really talented player, but a really prickly personality that a lot of people didn't get along with.
I don't know, man. For only one more year, shoot, why not?
I thought an actual 3-level scorer.
You want to know what's funny? Jalen Johnson makes $30 million a year on a flat contract for the next 5 years. Oh my God. What? Can we hire whoever the hell is handing out their contracts? Do you realize Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, how many picks would you add to trade RJ and Emmanuel Quickley for Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker right now? Would you add like 4 picks to make that trade?
At least two unprotected first.
At least 2. Dude, 4 firsts. Jeez. 4 firsts go out the door in that swap right away.
Unprotected? All unprotected? Or fake first?
Top 5 protected.
I mean, if Atlanta play their cards right, they could be a powerhouse team. If they make use of the Pelicans pick, and they could be really
Put
good.
Luke on that team, man. Put Luke on it.
Who wants Trae Young? and somebody's gonna have to pay him. Here's the problem. Someone's gonna have to pay him.
Okay, Lane, why do you want Trae Young?
I would take Trae Young over Emmanuel Quickley in a heartbeat. I would make that trade in a heartbeat.
But it's not going to be a 1-for-1 because the contract's going to work out. Like next year, Trae Young makes $16 million, $17 million more than Emmanuel Quickley. So $17 million is what? 17 million is almost that's more than half. That's more than half of RJ's contract.
So that's
all of Grady's contract.
Quickly,
all of
Ochai's. It's Quickley. It's Ochai. What else do we have to throw in?
Quickley, Ochai, Grady.
Yeah, you would have to throw in Quickley, Ochai, Grady just to make the money work for Trae, and you get worse defensively because you trade,
but you get off that money.
You trade a neutral defender, a bad defender, and an average defender for possibly the worst defender in the NBA.
But you get off that money. It's almost worth it to get off that money. That contract is so unbelievable. We are going to make contracts over the next 4 years centered around.
Rob, we don't need Ochai. We don't need him.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick I'm sick to my stomach that for a bottom 5 point guard in the NBA, we're going to make all of our financial decisions for the next 4 years around him. Like, that is absolutely asinine.
I agree.
We have to get off of it. And
you mean bottom 5 starting point guard, right?
Yeah, bottom 5 starting point guard, yes.
Okay. Well, he's got 4 years left at $32.5 million. RJ's got 2 years left at about 28.5 per year. And then he's an unrestricted free agent. There's no player option on Emmanuel Quickley's contract. There's the saving grace. There's no player option. That's why he got 32.5. No player option.
And it's flat.
Yeah, that was the saving grace. Yeah. I mean, I swear to God, I heard so the Knicks offered Emmanuel Quickley. Do you want to know what the Knicks offered Emmanuel Quickley?
Wasn't it 28 or like 27?
18.
It was 17.
Okay. Was it actually? Jesus.
Yeah. They offered him $17 million extension to stay. He said he wanted 25. They told him to go fuck himself and traded him to Toronto.
And we gave him 30.
You know, it's so funny. Toronto has done this so many times. Like this is like a truly something that has not been talked about enough in Raptors land is Gary Trent Jr. pre-agency, Emmanuel Quickley pre-agency, Jakob Poeltl pre-agency, Brandon Ingram pre-agency. It's the same move every fucking time. You can set a clock by this team that at the trade deadline, if there's a player that they like, they're going to trade a pick or they're going to trade something to get that player and then negotiate the extension.
Yeah. Agents have something on us. I think some of these Raptors execs are like in the Epstein files or something. I don't know.
I mean,
listen,
you could even say that for Brandon Ingram too. We overpaid that.
Of course we did.
Yes.
Because where else are they going to go? Where are they going to get this money from? It's like,
dude, do you know how rare it is for an agent to candidly just say like that offer wasn't available anywhere else? The Raptors kind of bailed us out. Like that's what Rich Paul said. Like we bailed them out.
If we could have hardballed his ass for 35.
Right. But then, you know, like Bobby Webster has to be a bad guy and Bobby Webster doesn't want to be a bad guy. Okay, let's see. Who is available for free agency soon? Jock Londale. Let's go pre-agency Jock Londale. Anybody else? Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Pre-agency on Contavious Caldwell-Pope. They're praying to their lucky stars. LaMelo Ball, would we go pre-agency LaMelo Ball? Like if you're talking like straight up like Trae Young, that to me is like suicide bomber shit.
Look how much term is on LaMelo Ball's deal. It goes until 2000.
No, thank you. That's worse.
2028, 2029.
Yeah, that's worse.
Like I would rather LaMelo Ball than Trae Young. Is that crazy?
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I'd rather get off the money next year. Even
LaMelo's younger, he's bigger. I think he's a better I think at their best he's not a better player. At the very least though, he tries on defense.
But he doesn't. He's never won. Trae Young's at least been to a conference finals. I trust that
like 4 years ago.
But I trust if we traded for Trae Young right now, we would be at least fourth in the East, if not better, for the rest of the year. If we trade for LaMelo, we might fall.
Fourth in the East right now.
Yeah, exactly. We might stay put or get better in seeding projection. If we
and in the playoffs, let's say you go up against Detroit, who's he guarding?
I'm not worried about the playoffs this year. I'm worried about getting off this money so we can pay people. Like, keep Jacoby around, keep Mamu around.
But I feel like paying Trae Young actually complicates you paying RJ Barrett even more.
How? They both become free agents at the same year.
Okay. So
Trae Young's not getting that money again in his career. He's not getting it again.
But will he sign for less than $32 million?
I don't care if he signs. I honestly don't care if he signs. He could walk.
So you would be willing to right now just dump Immanuel Quickley's contract for nothing. Like, if there was a team out there that's like, we'll trade you a trade exception for Immanuel Quickley, you're like done.
Yes.
I don't think we're overreacting, Rob. He doesn't have. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, it's sad that I would rather have Davion Mitchell playing point guard right now.
Oh my God.
It's sad.
If Immanuel Quickley had 3-level scoring potential, even with these bad games, we could look beyond that and say, okay, well,
dude, I turned off the game and I went to go work on my leads in my CRM because Immanuel Quickley was playing.
Rob, do you remember the play where Quickley, this game, he did a no-look pass to Brandon Ingram and the pass was so off target?
Yeah.
Because he did a no-look. He finally didn't project the pass and it was completely off target. Because he legitimately didn't look. Here's the problem. He's not good. The reason why I would get rid of him for nothing is he's not good on defense. I don't care what you say. He's not a good defender, right? On his best day defensively, he's a neutral. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's strictly off ball. He's not even connective. He's not even CMB.
I don't even like his fast break decisions, Mo. Like, he traveled. Did you see that pass?
Yeah, I did. Where it was 3-on-1, and he traveled.
He did this high dribbles,
he traveled. No, it's hilarious. It's comical.
Look at
I don't even think he's this bad. I don't even think he's as bad as he's been this past month. At this point, it's mental. Because I don't believe he's this bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, Davion is considerably a better defender. I'm just looking at their stats side by side, and it's so interesting to actually see that Davion is shooting 64% from the free throw line, which just makes no sense to me. But they're shooting identical numbers from the 3-point line, and I mean,
Rob, here's the question.
I think you can argue Davion's worth 12 more than Immanuel Quickley's worth 32. Sure,
100%. Davion Mitchell is worth 12, and then you get to extend Mamu. You get to extend RJ. You get to extend Jacoby.
But we can agree that Davion's not worth 12, right?
Oh, 100%. But he's worth 12 more than IQ's worth 32.
Okay.
Davion's definitely not worth 12 on the Raptors. That's the distinction. Sorry.
That's my whole argument from the beginning is I don't want to see another point guard who's below 6'5" if you have Scottie fucking Barnes in your starting lineup. If Scottie Barnes is in the starting lineup, why is there a midget on the court? Why? It overcomplicates too much. There's no reason. Like, what are we paying Scottie for then?
I believe the term is little people. Vegan Grass said Steph brought his whole family here last game. He wants to be here. Oh, if that were even remotely on the table, just from an MLSC marketing standpoint, I'm doing everything in my power to get Steph Curry here for the last 3 years.
Also, the number one reason to get IQ off the books is so your players can't use his salary against you in negotiations.
100%.
If you get him off the books, they can't be like, well, he's not here.
I mean, they could still tell you. They could still say they could still say, well, you gave him that contract.
Yeah, and he's gone, and we made a mistake. He wasn't worth that. Whatever, at least.
Didn't the
politically, it's impossible to negotiate in good faith in that Immanuel Quickley situation without conceding to the agent that is not Immanuel Quickley's agent that you made a mistake with Immanuel Quickley.
Yeah, no, you're correct.
Which will invariably get back to Immanuel Quickley at some point or get to Shams or something. And it's like Raptors regret. Like, the Raptors are very close to the chest. They don't do this. They don't, like, when you go to the table with RJ's agent, you have to assume that he's going to leak some element of those negotiations to the press. And so
100%.
you can't just be like, yeah, we fucked up with Immanuel Quickley, because guess who's going to hear about that? Immanuel Quickley. They're never going to do that. So it's almost like you have to negotiate as if you didn't fuck up. And
here's the
now
thing,
you're
Bob,
cooked.
Do you blame RJ for doing that? Because I don't.
That's all I'm going to bring up is that contract.
Yeah,
That's it.
I don't. I'm going to the media. I'm singing. I don't play with my money.
I'm going to bring up that contract, and I'm just going to have a highlight reel of his lowlights with the contract number. Be like, all right, let's start the negotiations with the lowlight reel playing in the background.
I would have loved to have been in the negotiating room between the Bulls and Giddy when Giddy's people tried to like get Bulls to match what Quickley got, and eventually, obviously, Giddy's people relented. But that must have been so frustrating.
That is really frustrating. I would agree with that. I don't know, man. I mean, if the Raptors are very, very big on the analytics, I think you could still argue from the theory of basketball perspective that RJ Barrett has not outplayed Emmanuel Quickley this year. Obviously, eye test tells me he's way better than him this year, but the analytics still kind of low-key prefer Emmanuel Quickley because of the higher volume three-point shooting. But it's not even that much higher volume, you know what I mean? It's just like that's the fucked up thing about Quickley. It's like you shoot 36% from three or 37% from three. It is your lone saving grace, and you can barely get up 10 per 100 possessions.
It's not good enough.
You should be at 14 per 100 possessions, man.
He can't do it. He can't. He actually can't do it. It's not that he doesn't want to. He can't. He's not good enough. And it has to say a lot when other teams have probably tried to use that contract to get other agents that said, see what Toronto gave Quickley? That's like the new baseline. And it's now consensus. Yeah, that was dumb. We're not even going to bring that up.
Exactly right.
Counterproductive.
Exactly.
Cam Thomas to a T. That's exactly what Cam Thomas's negotiations probably look like with the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
That was exactly what that was. And someone in chat made a great point. We need an expansion team to offload him to.
How much better would this team look right now with
You
Norman Powell?
You want to send him to Seattle?
I'm not even kidding. How much better would this
Guantanamo Bay at this point? I don't care.
Dude, how much better would this team look like right now with Norman Powell?
So good.
Takes exactly the same number of threes per 100 possessions as Quickley. Hits 40% of them.
Positive on defense.
No.
Quickly.
How much better would we look if we had Anthony Black? Do you think the Magic even bother trading for?
They can't.
No, I don't think they're trading him. I think
they can't keep them both. And
yeah, they're an insanely expensive roster. Like they are absurdly expensive.
No, but if they knew that Anthony was going to be this good, do they bother trading for Bane?
Yeah, because they still need Desmond Bane. I think maybe they wouldn't have been so desperate to trade for Desmond Bane if they'd seen
they gave
this
up a lot, like
4 first-round picks plus a swap.
Their answer is getting rid of Banchero. That's a simple fix for them. Just get rid of that guy. He's not.
I think before the league figures out who Paolo Banchero is, they should probably get rid of him.
I agree.
But you typically, it's very difficult for a organization, because it is a business, to orient your entire marketing strategy around this guy's our star, this guy's our star, this guy's our star, and then just up and pull the rug from the fan base and just be like, my bad, never mind. Like, we're trading him. You know what I mean? We changed our mind. He's not really a star. But that's kind of how I feel about Paolo Banchero, where it's like the data would tell you they've been a better team without him, but the snapshot or the highlight reel would tell you he's their best player because, you know, he shoots absurd percentages from three in the playoffs, which is fluky as hell. But I just see it over and over every year with him that their offense flows better when it goes through Suggs and Franz. And to me, it's like, well, Suggs and Franz are not exactly franchise players. And it's just like, you're still missing a franchise player. You've drafted top 4, you've drafted top 5 3 times in this rebuild. Anthony Black, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Suggs, and you got no franchise players out of it. The only thing close to a franchise player you actually have is Franz Wagner, who was the 8th overall pick. So it's interesting.
Do you mind doing me a favor, Rob? Do you mind comparing Quickley to Garland? I'm just curious.
Garland's been ass this year. Like really bad.
I know he has. I just want to see what it looks like.
I'm actually quite sure that Quickley will come out on top in this comparison.
I think,
but that should not be an indictment on who Darius Garland is.
Yeah.
Like Darius Garland scores marginally better. shoots marginally better from 3, worse from 2, better from the free throw line, negative 2.9 boxes minus. To Quickley's positive 1.7. You know how hard it is to have a negative value replacement? Like, do you know how many, like, I will guarantee you right now that among all the players on the on the Cleveland Cavaliers, there aren't more than 2 who have a negative value replacement other than Darius Garland. Like, you have to be so flagrantly bad. Like, typically negative value replacement is like, you're a rookie, you know, like you're a rookie and a really bad one at that. Hold on, let's check this out. Yeah, I feel like people who don't watch that team don't understand like how shit he's been this year. But okay, let's see here.
Pretty often, and I didn't even think it was that bad. Wow.
Okay, so here you go. My bad. So they have 4 guys who are negative value replacement: Larry Nance, Tyrese Proctor, DeAndre Hunter, and Darius Garland.
Jeez,
they are bad. And all of this being lost in Donovan Mitchell having a borderline All-NBA season. But he's the only one. Evan Mobley's been fine. Jared Allen's regressed quite a bit, actually, this year. Hasn't been as impactful. Lonzo Ball couldn't make a 3 for a really long time, but now that, you know, I mean, you realize Lonzo Ball can't hit threes, and right now 80% of his shots come from 3. He's shooting 25% from 3 and 80% of his shots come from 3. Like, what do you want? Like, fuck. This offense is so bad. But, you know, if they turn it around, all the talent still remains for them. But, yeah, Darius has been really bad. Last year, I had friends who were saying he was their best player.
Yeah. They lost their offensive coordinator to the Suns, and that did them in. I really don't think people understand how impactful. I don't think people understand how impactful, like, assistant coaches are in the NBA. So impactful.
They can be. But, you know, like, just as a comparison, Darius Garland last year to this year, last year when he was an all-star, there's a 9% regression in 2-point percentage. There's a 3% regression in 3-point percentage. He's gone from plus 3.1 boxes minus to negative 2.9. That is a exactly negative 6 fall off.
Yeah, because he's an athlete. He's an athlete. So if you lose a little bit of that burst, you can fall off quickly, you know?
For sure.
And it's because of that foot injury, though. The question is, does this linger the rest of his career, or does he get over in a year or so?
But this is the problem with smallish guards. This is always the problem with small guards. This is why I didn't want to sign Fred VanVleet. This is why I didn't want to sign Davion Mitchell. Like, I don't like there's a so rare that I find like a guard under 6'1" that I'm willing to park 4 years into. So rare.
See, man, that's my beef with the Raptors. Like, if you were going to get off Fred, why sign Dennis? If you're going to get off Dennis, why sign Davion? If you're going to get off Davion, why extend IQ? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why?
I think it's like, okay, like, it's kind of interesting. Dennis was a productive player with us. Davion was a productive player with us. I think both players were playing reasonably well when they were traded, right? I think we can all agree. They were okay. We got nothing for Dennis. We got one measly second-round pick for Davion. And yet I guarantee if you were to trade for Dennis, you would give up a first. And if you were to trade for Davion, you'd give up 3 seconds. So that's kind of the viewpoint of like how smart a negotiator is really sitting at the table when at the end of the day, we always negotiate against ourselves.
And man, I don't know how you guys feel about it. And that's a great point because I don't think I think Masai's last trade was the Lowry trade. I think everything from that point on has been Bobby.
That would be a pretty depressing thought. I don't know if that's true.
The norm for Gary just reeks of Bobby.
Why?
The younger guy, marginal downgrade for potential offensive upgrade down the road, cheaper contract, blah blah blah.
Pre-agency, yeah.
It just reeks of Bobby, and it's reeked of what Bobby's been his whole tenure here. Like I seriously think Masai's last trade was the Kyle trade, which granted it wasn't that good of a trade, but you got what you could for him.
It's a negative trade. You took on money in Goran Dragic, and you got an absolute zero in Precious Achiuwa, who barely contributed.
At least he tried. I mean, that's what that trade is. At least you try. But
yeah, but we've been negotiating from a position of weakness for a long time now. That's the problem.
Like, where were days when we turned Grievous Vasquez into like everybody? like where are those days gone? Norm, OG.
I think at some point, you know, you become a really good front office and people are a little bit on edge to do deals with you.
That's true.
You know, you just kind of like if you were negotiating with Bill Gates on your tech company buyout, like I think you're going to be a little on edge. Like you're going to assume that he's lowballing you. You're going to assume that, you know, you're going to lose this deal. So you'll be over defensive in your negotiation. And I think the Raptors for a little while, at least, like one could ask, why is Danny Ainge so bad at pulling off trades lately?
No one wants to deal with him.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
No one wants to deal. It's like, don't want to bring baseball into it, but it's like in baseball, man, no one wants to trade with the Tampa Bay Rays. Every time you trade with the Rays, you lose.
Well, I think at this point we can you know blast it out to other teams. Every time you trade with the Raptors, you win.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's the Brandon Ingram trade, but like for the most part, like the Brandon Ingram trade is a positive trade, I would say, unless of course you over focus on what that Indiana pick is going to become. And I think the Sacramento trade was extremely positive.
Yes.
Agreed. But I mean,
that's more of a failure of the Sacramento Kings being absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Trading with the Kings.
And in a way, the Dennis Schroeder, getting rid of Dennis Schroeder opened up the door to get that Sacramento trade done. Because if you had Dennis on your books, you wouldn't have been able to do that. So you basically traded Dennis to get off his money a year early, and then you use that cap flexibility and the trade exception. I think it was a trade exception.
That's how I feel about Quickley right now.
So you would. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. Like, I just think, like, if I was the Brooklyn Nets, I would be calling about Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, largely because I think the only way to relevance for a team that operates in New York is to go with ex-Knicks that might still have a following in New York. You know what I mean? Like, I think they should go for those guys.
I'm kind of there with you. I'm there with you, but I think more largely, like I'm at the point to where everybody the past few months has been saying RJ is the Rudy Gay trade. Like the North starts after RJ. Dude, Emmanuel Quickley's the Rudy Gay trade. We the North starts after.
Just to be clear, though, I would trade both. I'm not like married to RJ, but I think RJ has more value. We've established that. You know, we talked about that in the last slide, like low key. RJ's value is like higher now.
Yeah.
So we don't want to like show our hand, you know, and say like, oh, we just want to get rid of RJ. No, like RJ's got value. So
I think it's just because he plays a position that is so desperately like defined by stars, fake stars, 3-and-D wings, and multi-positional wings. So he doesn't exactly fit an archetype. Like when you talk about archetypes, movement shooters, so Cam Johnson, Trey Murphy, right? 3-and-D wings, that's OG Anunoby, Herb Jones, Tumani Kamara. Stars or all-stars, sub-all-stars type of guys like Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. What is he, though? Who is the closest thing to him? Like, I always come back to Karis LeVert, DeAndre Hunter. I come back to guys like that. I think about guys like that, and I'm just like, those guys don't really get paid because they're not really in demand because they're not exactly the easiest thing to build around. Like, if RJ was a better defender, he'd be Christian Brown.
He's perfectly mid, but he fits on this roster. Weirdly enough, with Point Scottie, he fits perfectly on this roster.
Right. And I think you've designed an offense that very, very much caters to what he likes to do, which is shoot gaps and you know, cut to the basket. And that's great.
And the offense looks so much better when he's out there, even when he's not scoring.
Yeah, I think he would look perfect in Denver. Playing off of Jokic.
Agreed.
Like everything Bruce Brown did, RJ could do better than Bruce Brown.
He might have an all-star playing next to Jokic.
I don't know about all-star year, but I think he would be great. Like I think him in that Michael Porter Jr. role would be awesome, you know? But then Christian Brown has to become a much better 3-point shooter. Peyton Watson probably can't play as much. So it's complicated, you know? Like, it's just like with RJ, it's like, can you get one of those two things right? And then we can talk about value. If you can get the defense right, which is easier said than done, or get the 3-point shooting down to like consistent 38%, 37%, 36%. And it's just like, okay, right now he's being left open a lot. How many teams are willing to pay $25 million for a wing who is left open from three? Not a lot, man.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree. But I think my gripe at the end of the day with it is I'm not willing to get off of RJ to keep IQ. Like that just sounds so asinine.
I'm just so firm that we should probably trade both.
If we trade both, fine. But like if we get off of RJ via trade or letting him walk at the expense of keeping IQ, like it makes absolutely no sense to me.
No, but Rob's making the case that RJ actually doesn't have that much value because like he doesn't have like this archetype.
He doesn't fit a role. Like it's just like it's like Cam Thomas. It's like Cam Thomas. Like Cam Thomas is a perfectly fine basketball player, right? Bones Highland is a perfectly fine basketball player. I would argue Bones Highland has badly outplayed Rob Dillingham, who just went 8th overall like a draft ago. But when teams think about paying these types of players who don't play great defense and don't give you a ton of spacing and need the ball in their hands a lot, like they need to be finishers within the offense, but they can't really create the openings for other people. Like we can agree that RJ Barrett, when he doesn't have the basketball, he's not doing a tremendous amount for other people. It's RJ's greatest gift right now is what he does with the basketball, catching the basketball in transition, playmaking for others, et cetera, et cetera. But if I have Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle on my team, I'm not really thinking about you. If I have Shea, J-Dub, and Chet, I'm not really thinking about you, right? So it just kind of comes down to this, like, if you can't be one of my top 3 players, why should I think about your on-ball skills? I'm more thinking about your off-ball skills. I'm more thinking about your ability to space to the corner, catch above the break, make the connective reads, get on the glass, rebound, defend. I'm thinking about those things. I'm thinking about you as a Herb Jones, Tomani Kamara. And it's just like RJ Barrett is like a really poor man's Denny Avdia, but like a way, way, way shittier defender. And it's just like that player is not getting paid in the modern NBA to the degree. Like there was a version of RJ Barrett, which is like, you know, he becomes a offensive initiator, driver, 25 point per game scorer. And then we can look past the defense. We don't care because the ball's in his hands and he's a star, right? That version was what New York was after when they drafted him 3rd overall. That's the vision that they wanted with him. But it's just like with Mo Bamba. It's like, if you're not going to be my franchise cornerstone center, then I don't trust you to be my backup. It's kind of weird. Like you're too inconsistent to satisfy the quota of the backup, even though you're more talented than every backup in the league. Mo Bamba is more talented than Day'Ron Sharpe, but Day'Ron Sharpe is a better backup. So
yeah, I agree with that.
I think of it like a little bit like Anthony Parker. Anthony Parker, when Anthony Parker first got to the NBA, and I remember him, you know, playing behind Allen Iverson, he just didn't have it. You know, he didn't do enough of the connective stuff. And so he went to Europe and he was basically like Michael Jordan in Europe. You know, people compare him to like Michael Jordan in Israel, and he won EuroLeague MVP. And then he came over and he kind of learned how to adapt. He became a better defender. He became a better shooter, and everything in his game was not midi pull-ups, but you could still see in spurts like a little hint of Wizards Jordan, you know, in his game when that turnaround jump shot would come around. I think too many people, they orient their whole offense towards like, I'll have the ball in my hands. And it's just like, yeah, but at the next level, you have to be one of the 3 best players on your team to have the ball in your hands consistently. So it's just like with Michael Porter Jr., like MPJ, way more talented than RJ Barrett, as we're seeing, you know, in Brooklyn. Like he's averaging like 27 points per game and they're winning basketball games now. And he's super efficient and he's a great shooter. That was a 3rd option for Denver. But he was precisely a perfect 3rd option in a championship team because he could do things without the basketball. He didn't need to have the basketball in his hands to stretch the corners for Jokic. He's just a catch and shoot guy. But it's just like, if RJ Barrett's a catch and shoot guy and they won't guard him, then he has to drive, which means the ball has to be in his hands.
You don't think there's a team that might overvalue RJ's like rim pressure foul baiting.
No, because
would like
again,
that.
those are on-ball traits, and he's not in the 90th percentile in those things. Just because he's really great for the Raptors, because he's the only person on this team that really functionally knows how to do those things, doesn't mean that other teams that have multiple guys who do those things are looking at him the same way. A team that has Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland who can easily attack the rim, who has, DeAndre Hunter who can do some variation of that, is not looking at RJ Barrett. A team that has LaMelo Ball and Colin Sexton, or even a team that has Malik Monk, by the way, is not looking at RJ Barrett like there's our savior. Like, I think people need to wake up to how the league sees him, because I promise you, the average general manager sees him the way I see him. And there might be an exceptional general manager out there who has a very different version of him. That's like, I can put the ball in his hands. He's like a point guard, pseudo point guard, and he can run, 15 to 25 pick and rolls for me every night, and he can get to the paint, and we can fix the predictability of the left hand versus the right hand. But man, if you're gonna be tasked with that type of load and usage, where your rim pressure and playmaking is why you're on my team, you better be a hella efficient driver. You better be a great finisher, and you better be someone who consistently draws doubles and triples.
Yeah, I agree. I hate to interrupt. I just saw a quote. Their Nuggets are apparently bracing for Jokic to be out for a long time.
Oh, no.
If it looks like it's a long time, as in a year or so, what do you think?
A year?
No way.
They're talking ligaments. Like, early signs are showing ligaments pre-scan, which is not a good sign. If that is what it looks like in the knee, how willing do you think they are to get off Jamal Murray and they rebuild before he gets back? And would you think that the Raptors would want to jump in on that?
On Jamal Murray?
Yeah.
Would they take Quickley?
I mean, that would have to go. Quickley and picks. Adelman just made a quote like, my mind wanders of what I'm going to do if he's not here for a long, long time.
Sorry, and that was like, I got like tears in my eyes. Holy shit. Oh my God.
Where is this on X? I'm not reading this.
Go to the Bleacher Report and look at Adelman's latest quote.
Did you guys see the play in question that caused it?
I did. It wasn't good.
Do you know that Paolo Banchero has the lowest field goal percentage in clutch situations in the league? Minimum 25 attempts.
I believe it. Is Brandon Ingram second?
I don't know, but I know Paolo is worst.
The Magic are also chasing losses. They're going to make that work come hell or high water. Remember that quote? Remember that great quote? He's our guy. Come hell or high water.
Yo, Mike. My God, man. Your mic rumble is insane. Like, at this point, I think this is what you're doing. Like, are you doing this?
I moved it. That was my bad. Yeah, that was my bad. I adjusted my chair.
It sounds like you're punching your mic in the face. Like, fuck you, Emmanuel, Quickley.
No, but
obviously, do you have a picture of Emmanuel Quickley on your mic? Is that why you hit it so hard?
No, I don't play darts either.
No, like the Jokic stuff is obviously terrible. I'm not trying to take advantage of a bad situation, especially like since this is the night where this shit's going down. But I'd seriously look into getting Jamal Murray home.
I mean, he makes a lot of money, dude.
I would take that at point guard. I would get off of anything. Like, you can give us back JV for fucking Jakob and Quickley, and we'll give you picks and Grady Dick.
His performance in the Olympics actually made me hate him.
That's fair, actually. Okay, so where are you seeing this quote from?
It was Adelman. It's on Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report X?
Yes, I got the notification, but I assume it's on X.
I'm looking at Jamal Murray's contract. Wow,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot, but it's a huge.
Yeah, unless you're a championship contender, dude, with his injury history, that's a scary amount of money. And he's like, granted, he's a lot better than RJ Barrett, and he's a lot better than Emmanuel Quickley, but he's not $50 million player. Okay.
What was that expression, Rob? Like, cut off your nose to spite your face, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I want that contract.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I can't quite unsee how terrible he's been on defense at times. And I also can't quite get over the fact that he's probably not going to look as good without Jokic. Like this, I understand. Like sometimes buying high on a player sounds smart. But yeah, man, I don't know about that.
Anyway, just final thoughts. What you were saying about Barrett. If you're right, and I'm not saying that you aren't right. In fact, you made a very cogent case that other GMs are not stupid and they probably see it the same. They see it the same that this is the way that you do. Then we should probably just keep RJ at a modest salary that his agent will, go for. Because if it turns out that we are actually the 1 in 30 team that needs him the most, then that's the case. We need him the most, even if it's just mild rim pressure,
But I think you can replace it. I think you can get downhill athletes. Like the fact that we don't draft them is our stupidity. AJ Mitchell was right there. I'm positive in saying AJ Mitchell's a better player than RJ Barrett. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. He was drafted last year in the 30s. He's better. Like I watch him play. He's better. He's a better player. He's a better defender. He's a better shooter. He's just better. He's a better player, right? Like I cannot ignore the fact that I think Keyshawn George is a comparable player. Again, last year draft pick. This is not a hard player to find. A guard who attacks. Is Keontae George better? I know Keontae George is awful defensively, but this is a guy who averaged like 40 points per game for like an entire week. Is he better? Because he gets downhill.
You have the same. I don't watch a lot of
Keontae. He has the same skill set. He has the same skill set.
Does he have the same playmaking ability as RJ?
I don't think either one is a point guard, but they've basically been playing Keontae at point. And he's averaging damn near 40. Dude, the other day, the Utah Jazz knocked off the Detroit Pistons, and he outscored Cade. And he's doing it pretty efficiently too. It's not like some crazy volume bullshit.
Okay.
I'm not even a Keontae George fan. I wasn't a Keontae George fan at the draft. I remember I went back to my draft reaction. I was like, oh, please no Grady, please no Keontae. I wanted Jordan Hawkins or Kobe Buffkin or Cason Wallace. But when Cason Wallace and Derek Lively went off the board, I was perfectly fine with Kobe Buffkin or Jordan Hawkins. I absolutely did not want Keontae George on this team. And there were people in this chat who were like, no, Rob, you're going to be wrong. Keontae George is amazing. Okay, you're right. Keontae George is way better than Grady Dick right now. But he's also better than RJ Barrett right now. I don't know. Like, I just think necessity drives value, and I get it, right? Like, you needed a center, so you overpay for Jakob Poeltl. I get it. And that's perfectly fine if Jakob Poeltl is truly unique. But Jakob Poeltl is not unique. Luke Cornett exists. Isaiah Hartenstein exists. There's a lot of players who exist in the league that serviceably give you something similar value, right? Like, Jamal Murray is unique because he has this long history with Jokic, and his skill set is truly like you probably can't get 5 players in the league that can do exactly what he can do. And probably 3 of them will never become available. So I understand that's unique, right? But is Isaiah Hartenstein like truly unique when there's like 8 players who can pretty easily replicate his success? I would argue Josh Hart is more unique than RJ Barrett.
I think Hartenstein, Zubats, how many? There's not that many. I think he is unique.
I think if you're the Raptors, you have to almost start thinking inside out. Like, who's the next Josh Hart? Who's the next Denny Advia that you can go get for pennies?
Like, are we ignoring the fact that the year that the Raptors traded for Thaddeus Young, Walker Kessler was literally right there? Are we ignoring that? Is Walker Kessler not similar to Jakob Poeltl in some material way? A 7-footer who clogs the paint, sets screens, rolls hard. Like, can we be real? Like, I know he's out for the year, but let's not be obtuse about this. Like, he's pretty damn good, and he's had a better season, and he's a better rim protector, and he's a way better shot blocker, and he's a better rebounder.
If Bobby does that again, he has to go. He's got to go.
But Rob, we needed a mentor.
A mentor for who?
We needed a mentor
for Mo Bamba.
Oh, right.
We needed an old guy to sit on the bench and
you know what? This is actually how I think if Jakob Poeltl really wants to earn his contract, truly, he will mentor Mo Bamba, or he will undergo some elective surgery where we can replace Mo Bamba's brain with Jakob Poeltl's brain, and it can become some sort of sci-fi freaky experiment. And then next thing you know, like Jakob Poeltl is the one who
Freaky
comes out
Friday.
looking all dazed and confused, and Mo Bamba is suddenly like the greatest player in NBA history. Because if you could actually give Mo Bamba Jakob Poeltl's mentality and touch and hand-eye coordination and focus level and approach to the game and intelligence and screen setting ability with his physical tools, you would be talking about a first or second team All-NBA player. So maybe you can't do a brain surgery because that would be unethical for some reason, you know. Although I would still open up the conversation, you know, with Yak, just be like, hey, how do you feel about brain surgery, man? But because you can't do that, I would offer, you know, Yak a very strongly worded message that I need you to mentor this kid. I need you to teach him the game. I need you to be like the shadow for him. I need you to shadow him everywhere. I need y'all to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner together. I need you to show up to his house unannounced. I need y'all to watch Friends on Netflix together. I need you guys to decode, you know, the deeper meaning of Seinfeld jokes together. I need you to, like, you know, babysit him. Like, there needs to be like a friendship, genuine friendship that borders on obsession, like Michael Myers level. Every time he steps out into the lobby and decides to do something, like, you're just right there, kind of waiting for him in the elevator, like, hey, Mo, what's up?
And then
like,
it works. And then it works, Rob. Okay. And then we're gonna have to pay Mo Bamba.
No. See, the beautiful thing about this is he won't figure it out right away, but the true value of the mentorship will show up after you extend Mo Bamba. So then you extend Mo Bamba for, like, I don't know, like 10 million for 3 years. You show him a phenomenal amount of faith this summer. And then somehow the mentorship and all the seeds that Jakob Poeltl planted, they like all blossom in training camp next year. And you're like, oh my God, Mo Bamba fully actualized. And
problem is the 3 year is really a 2 because it's a player option on the third year.
You know, like the underlying core of all this dark humor is that it's so difficult to enjoy these wins because of these 2 contracts. Like, we just won back-to-back games. Like, we should be elated. And these fucking contracts are like making it impossible to, like.
You can't dream. You cannot dream with those contracts on the books. You can't dream.
So here's a question for you.
Agreed.
Which fan base are you happy as right now? Name them out. If I was a fan of this team living in this city, I am pleased. Are you happy being a Miami fan right now? Presumably not, because you've got Bam's horrible contract. Are you happy being a Magic fan right now? Again,
yeah.
Really?
Oh,
With Paolo's atrocious contract?
They at least have
no first round picks. You traded all the first round picks.
You can sucker somebody into taking them.
Okay, sure. So you feel like they aren't as sunk as we are. Okay. Are you happy being a Cleveland fan?
No. Yes.
You have options.
Yeah, I have Donovan Mitchell.
Really? But Donovan Mitchell is like sub 6'2" and north of 30.
I can move Donovan Mitchell, though, for value. He's not going to fall off overnight.
So you're happy being a Cleveland fan. You're happy being an Orlando fan. I'm assuming you're happy being a Boston fan?
Extremely happy being a Boston fan. I'm ecstatic. We're trying to lose, and we're 19-12.
Payton Pritchard's contract.
I feel like you'd be crashing out, though. You'd be like, oh my God, like AJ DeBonsa was right there, and we decided to win because Jaylen Brown decided to fucking prove something to himself.
No, I have Jason Tatum.
Or would you be happy being an Atlanta fan right now?
You have the Pelicans pick, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be happy being a Knicks fan right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
They could win an NBA championship.
So, okay. So it's almost like you'd be happy being a fan of like 7 other teams in the Eastern Conference other than the Raptors right now. I'm assuming you wouldn't be super, super thrilled. Would you be happy being a Charlotte fan right now?
No. I'd be happy to be a Pacers fan, though.
They got wait. They got Khan. Khan is.
Yeah, but
you've
Khan
changed your mind on Khan. I love it.
He's not better. Not better than Halliburton.
That's right. Recruiter Dude is now an advocate for white players. I love it. This is great.
I'm gonna buy a Grady jersey.
He's gonna buy a Grady jersey to put on top of his Con Knipple jersey, to put under his Larry Bird jersey, and all of this will be coated on top of a Kevin McHale jacket.
and with an Austin Reeves like hat.
Yeah. The other day we were asked to make a player's choice draft, And I was like, yo, to throw people off the scent of this anti-white player sentiment, I'm just going to draft all white dudes. So I started drafting like a whole bunch of white guys. And then I just fucking ran out and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah. I think I'm perfectly fine being a Raptor fan because I believe that Jacoby will be more than what people are thinking he will be, even though I don't think it's obvious to everybody right now. I love watching Jamal Shead play basketball. I love the selfless spirit of this team. Scottie Barnes is literally my favorite player. Brandon Ingram is like one of my 10 favorite players in the league. And I do like CMB a lot. So, there's a lot of hope here. And plus, we just drafted my 2K fan. We just signed my 2K fantasy center, Mo Bamba. And, get to watch him block 3 shots and watch the box.
Where were you guys? Where were you guys when you watched the Golden State game? I was at my in-laws, and like I was fucking hooting, and that was a Christmas gift. That was one of the most enjoyable games I've watched in a long time.
It was pure heart, pure hustle, and
the last 2 wins in back-to-back nights have been pretty fun. I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than this. I have a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
So RJ didn't play today because it's a back-to-back.
Right.
The guy who was in the doghouse because there's just too many players at this position to play was Ochai. So RJ comes back. You have Grady. You have Jacoby, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have RJ. We know Battle's not going to play. So is it back to Ochai never seeing the court again? Even though his hustle and athleticism has been a positive the last 2 games. He still can't make a shot to save his life. But how do you see the guard rotation playing out?
I think honestly, I think it'll be okay.
I think they're auditioning Ochai.
Yeah.
Don't you?
So he has to play because they're auditioning him. I
mean, they started him. I think it just cuts into Jacoby or Grady's minutes because you're more concrete on those guys staying long term.
You can't play I don't think it's feasible to play all 4 every game.
Isn't RJ on minutes restriction though?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think until he's off the minutes restriction, it'll be more of the same.
Okay, so what happens when RJ starts going back to like 34 minutes a night or 32 minutes a night?
I mean, if Jakob's not back, you're going to need to play a lot of small ball still. So Mamu's still probably in the starting lineup, and Ochai's minutes are still probably at least.
Yeah, but the problem with that is Mo Bamba's going to get like 10 minutes a night.
Mo Bamba, I don't know. If he looks like he did tonight, he might not play much ever. And he's not guaranteed until January 10th, so you can get off him real easy.
Rob, was that lineup that closed the 4th, is that a situational lineup, or is that not the lineup that you want to see more of going forward of the season? I think it's the latter. Like that was a fantastic. Mo, what do you think?
I think it all depends on how Quickley's playing. If Quickley's playing,
no. The lineup, the one that we finished the game with. So Shed, CMB, Jacoby, Barnes, and
if we're ahead, sure. That doesn't sound like a great scoring lineup. If we're behind like 5 and we need points on the board, I don't know if that's the lineup you go to. That's the lineup that I would go to hold on to a 5-point lead with like 2 minutes left.
But that lineup was for the majority of the 4th quarter, and we were still down. Like, what were we?
Orlando
down?
is also a pretty bad scoring team. So if it's a good offensive team and you're down 5, I don't know.
I think it's a great lineup, but I could be wrong.
I think the Jamal Shead element of it, like if he's not hitting shots and Jacoby's not hitting shots, like CMB, that makes it very, very difficult from a spacing perspective. Like what that lineup gives you is a floor defensively that you're going to compete on every single play, and you're going to be pretty switchable. Weirdly enough, even though you're like pretty undersized at the big with CMB and you're pretty undersized at the point guard, you're still, and I think it's very matchup dependent. Like when Wendell Carter fouled out, Goga Batadze is more of a stretch big. I think it's easier for Scottie and CMB to guard those guys than it would be to guard Luke Cornett or Alperen Şengün. You know what I mean? So like maybe that lineup works situationally against the Magic, but it wouldn't work against the Nuggets if they were healthy. And it's interesting, actually. We're about to face the Nuggets, and now Jokic will be out. So did the Raptors just get another fake win?
It's insane injury luck, man.
It continues. It's constant. We have now faced, I mean, like yesterday, I mean, Golden State was relatively healthy though, right?
Yeah, Golden State was healthy.
Why didn't Kuminga play? Was he injured?
No, we got DNP CDs. Him and Steve Kerr have dick measuring contests every other game.
Oh, damn. They just literally didn't play him.
Who wants they must be so confident that he has value because he's not playing. So who's going to trade for him?
Well, if you listen to me in the offseason, I would have traded for him for RJ Barrett.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd take Kuminga. I don't know what for, but I'd take him.
Would you take him in a one-on-one swap for RJ Barrett?
Yes.
It would be the ultimate like bet on athleticism, upside, transition, because he does a lot of the same stuff. I don't think people realize that. Like, he's not nearly the court processor, but he's a slightly higher floor defender. He's bigger. He's more positionally versatile. He's a better athlete. He's definitely, younger. Like,
I like the defensive floor a lot compared to RJ's. However, Scottie would have to do a lot more rim pressure than what he's doing right now, because we saw what our offense looked like for almost a month with almost no rim pressure every game.
But I think that lack of rim pressure stuff is like, it's so because players are not getting the ball in positions to attack, right? Like, there is something that the offense can do to get Jacoby or Grady or one of these guys going downhill. I think the problem is they're not doing that. The offense just kind of stalls into Quickley hands the ball to Ingram. Ingram dances with the basketball, swings it to somebody in the corner. They attack a set defense. Spacing is atrocious. Jakob Poeltl also creates rim pressure because Jakob Poeltl sets screens that allow you, like, Jakob Poeltl creates rim pressure in two very unique ways. Number one, he sets screens that actually allow guys to attack downhill. Number two, when you're attacking downhill, he's almost always the guy who seals his man to stop you, to clear up the paint for you. So not having Jakob Poeltl healthy over the last month has been as big a detriment to the offense as not having RJ Barrett.
And I agree.
They both help.
I agree, but I think yesterday, just even though he didn't play that well, just the minutes that he was on the floor, I felt like the offense breathed a little bit easier.
It did. I agree with that. And I think, especially in the first quarter, when Quickley wasn't suffocating the possessions. But in the second stint with RJ, it was back to stagnant.
It was. I think it was more of lack of wanting to change more than anything. But I did like the first 5 to 6 minutes of the game. That was very, very nice. And it felt like more of what it will feel like once he gets back to closer to 100%. Like I said, if Kuminga comes in and he can do 50% of the rim pressure that RJ does right now, like, you easily win that trade.
But if you watch Kuminga play, like, off a live dribble, he is able to break his man down in a way that really nobody on this team really can.
He can't, but are we willing to go through his growing pains? That's another question. And also, what does his contract necessarily look like?
Someone said, what's with all the weird noises? Who's making weird noises? I'm hearing weird noises too. People like rustling papers and shit. Anyways, final thoughts from everybody would be a good place to end this. But what are the final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
I like CMB. I like Jacoby. That's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
And Shed. I think those are your three guys, and maybe Mogul. I think everyone else, in terms of the young crop, I don't care for. And I don't think will amount to anything. And at some point, you're going to have to make a decision on the Ochai, the Jacoby, the Grady, the RJ, the Battle, like those 5. You're going to have to pick like 2, maybe 3, probably 2.
Vince, what's up?
Yo, boys, what's going on? Listen, I've been listening for the past little bit. I just haven't been able to log on. But I know that you're doing your closing thoughts. I have 3 closing thoughts for you guys. RJ, can we just keep him, re-sign him, at a number similar to what he's at right now, or maybe even a little bit less.
25. Okay.
Yeah, maybe say like even a little bit less, even 20. Nobody in the NBA would bat an eye because everybody in the NBA thinks he's worth around that kind of contract.
Sure.
Kick him a few bucks on the side, similar to how the Knicks are doing with Brunson, and similar how to Kawhi is being.
Can we
paid
get him
by,
to plant some trees?
By the class? Sure. Why not? But nobody in Toronto would ever give a fuck. Like nobody outside of Toronto.
You're doing nothing positive for Italian stereotypes right now. You know that, right?
But it doesn't matter. This is my experience. This is my experience. This is
this is my lived-in experience as a child of the mafia. Okay.
Free food.
So why is that so far-fetched? Like
because it's literally tampering. But yeah.
Free gabagool for life. Free gabagool for life.
Exactly. Who cares? It doesn't. Everybody else is doing it too. Okay. If there was a point in baseball where tipping pitches was not legal. It was considered illegal. And if you were caught, like if somebody was caught rallying signs from second base, then it would be punished. Right. And then they couldn't govern it because everybody was just doing it, and it became rampant. And now everybody's okay with it. Tampering is the same thing, right? It's so obvious that Jalen Brunson is getting paid under the table in New York. Nobody's batting an eye. That guy is like, you guys were talking about Jamal Murray being worth 50 million. That guy's worth like 60 million a year. Right?
The consequences of getting caught are so great in a situation like this that even if like the league did bat an eye, it's almost like we know that players tip players off on sports betting. We know that, right? But who's the player that ultimately ends up becoming the poster child for it? Jonte Porter. I am almost convinced that everyone in the league could tip players under the table and pay players under the table. The minute the Raptors do it, they're going to be the team that's going to be made an example of. It's conspiratorial. It's totally just how I feel about it. Here's the thing. I feel like the RJ extension talk would be really funny if it started with like, hey, we'll give you $20 million a year and all the pizza you can eat for the rest of your life at Pizza. Here's a pizza lifetime membership loyalty card.
Somebody suggested Osmos because he likes Osmos.
We classing it up. Okay, cool. Because pizza gift cards is not exactly a positive.
Free garlic dipping sauce for life.
Free garlic dip.
Creamy
and a lifetime membership pass on your Walmart delivery orders, and 6 or 7 Amazon gift cards. Like, how much can we sweeten this deal, man?
Vincent's like, I have three things. Okay, first thing, pay RJ under the
table. What's the second thing, Vince?
My second thing is y'all are nuts on Jamal Murray. He's definitely worth the money. That guy's fucking nails.
First of all, Vince, I thought your second thing was going to be like if you beat someone up with a phone book, it doesn't leave a bruise. I thought that was going to be your second takeaway of the
night. Oh man, no, you gotta leave the bruises because then they know what they have coming.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like it warns the next person down the line. Right?
Okay.
No, but yeah, Jamal Murray, I think, my God, are you kidding me? If we can upgrade Quickley to Jamal Murray?
Yeah, but it's not a 1-for-1. Look at Jamal Murray's contract. You'll be paying RJ Barrett in like
sure,
brass rail. You pay him in brass rail membership.
Brass rail, you're dating yourself, my friend. I don't think that place exists anymore.
Does it not exist anymore?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but
does Zanzibar exist anymore?
Nah.
Oh, what did they do to my childhood?
The Strip? No. Those places are gone.
No. What did they replace it with? Don't tell me. Condos?
More than likely.
Dude, brass rail was like a staple of Young and Bloor. What are we doing here?
That was my childhood. Not that I went there, but I just walked by it many, many, many times.
I walked by it too. Okay, so here's a random question. Was I the only? I've actually never been either. Was I the only person in the world who ever found scrambled porn on you know, like the scrambled Playboy channel.
Yes.
When I was 11, like I went to the Playboy channel in the United States, and it was like sort of scrambled, and I was like, "What is this?" And it was like it said Playboy and Spice, and occasionally, if you would go back forth, back forth, back forth, back forth, back forth, like the 7th or 8th time that you went back, you could see some semblance of a picture. You get no sound, but you get like scrambled boobies. You know, so I was like,
but it was enough to work with.
It was enough to work with. It was like very interesting. So then, you know, sometimes my mom would come in the morning and see me sleeping there and just be like scrambled stuff going on. Be like, I don't know how that got there.
My saddest version of that was you guys remember Showcase in the 90s?
Red Shoe Diaries.
Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
There's a boob. There's a boob right there.
It was softcore. Which is really funny. There was like I think City TV used to have like Baby Blue or whatever. There was like a Channel 7.
Oh
City
yeah, that
TV.
was a thing.
Yeah.
They definitely had that. This is
a thing.
First of all, to anyone who's offended by this conversation, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second of all, this is a congregation of men born in the 80s and 90s in and around North America, reminiscing on how they accessed shit before Pornhub. Okay.
Oh yeah. Buffering porn, buffering it. Like it had to load. It had to load. Like you couldn't just back then. You couldn't click on things and it just appear. Everything had to buffer. Everything had to load up. So if you watch something and it caught up, you had to pause.
or you were downloading the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee video, and then your mom picked up the phone because you didn't have cable. Later,
oh my God.
Fucked up the whole download.
These situations are getting eerily specific.
You have to open like 6 windows and load up like 6 videos so you can watch it 2 hours later.
Oh my gosh. I can almost picture you guys doing this in your houses.
Yeah.
Johnny Mitchell saying, wait, Brass Rail closed? Not that I ever went there. It's amazing how everyone has such wonderfully vivid, thoughtful, emotional memories of Brass Rail, but nobody has ever gone in there ever. I wonder what happened in that. It's just like a fucking empty place. Nobody ever went there.
No, that place that place made bank back in the day.
I don't know how, Vince. Nobody ever went.
I actually think I'm
just waiting for
go there once. I think I may have gone there once.
Your memory coming back to you. I'm just waiting for the person in the chat who just savages out and be like, bro, I basically lived there. That was like a second home for me.
No.
Every day after school, I just went to Brass Rail. I knew all the girls. I knew all the bouncers. I knew all the security guys. They gave me daps. We had our own handshakes.
So when I grew up, I was in the 905. So the strip joint I actually went to, and we went to, I'll say embarrassingly a lot, was Whiskey A Go-Go. It was up close to.
Before you even said it, I knew it was going to be a Whiskey A Go-Go.
Okay, because I went to York University as a student, and it was very close to there. So we went to Whiskey's a lot.
I also went to York and I went there a lot. So we're same childhood.
Whiskey A Go-Go. Okay. Were you guys at York University at the same time?
Probably. I'm 41.
No. I'm 47. I was probably there before you guys. Yeah.
Whatever. Same thing.
But they used to have Monday Night Raw, where a guy who looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin would be the DJ. And they would play, like, he would play all the wrestling music, and I was actually into WWF at the time. It was fun and whatever. And then there was the stripper crossovers.
Was anyone up here not into wrestling? I was deeply into wrestling. Like it was my entire life.
I was.
Oh yeah, I was big time.
The only exception, my parents would let me stay up past a certain hour, and I fought for wrestling. I fought for it.
For Saturday night's main event that started at 11:30 on Saturday nights, that thing.
By the way,
interesting.
Rob, you know how the pay-per-view events, I didn't have pay-per-view, but you can get to the channel that had pay-per-view and it was blurry, but you can sometimes see some little semblance of the way you were, on the Playboy channel.
This is your version of Scrambled.
Yes. Yes.
Scrambled Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kane.
I needed to see what was going on WrestleMania and Royal Rumble and No Mercy. SummerSlam.
It's so funny because now you don't even need that. You just go on X and you have like a clip of what happened 4 seconds ago live from someone who's there.
You have to hear it from your friends at school the next day.
It's kind of ruined everything.
Pay-per-view.
Right.
Yeah. Like to me, when we came to Canada, one of the first things that we actually got to do was in our shelter. So we were living in a shelter for a little bit, and there was this generous person who came by and gave some gifts, and it was around the holiday time, and then there were some gifts for WWF Raw, and it was like, oh my god. And people were just going after everything. They were going after the tennis rackets. People were going after like all these gifts, and I luckily drew the WWF Raw tickets, so I actually got to see WWF Raw real time. Like I was awesome. Like that was such a freaking gift. One time they also had a gift to movie tickets, and I got to see Mortal Kombat Annihilation or something. So it was interesting. Like
that theme song is pretty iconic, huh?
Yeah. One, actually.
They've remade, well, not remade, but they made a new Anaconda movie too. They're really feasting on this like nostalgia. Exactly, it is a parody, and it's somehow like that snake is so disgustingly not real. As someone who had an anaconda in real life, it's very insulting to watch anacondas represented on screen.
That shit was illegal. You had an anaconda? What?
Yes, I had an anaconda. At the same time, I had an American crocodile.
All right.
Whoa.
Sorry, an American. Sorry, I apologize. An American alligator. I had 2 bamboo sharks, a stingray, an eel. Yeah, like it was
great.
Yeah. Now I only have 1 snake. I only have a python. But yeah, I also had a couple of Amazon tree boas. They were really cool. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's.
Do you feed it like frozen mice and shit?
Yeah. With the anaconda, it was very interesting. Very interesting. Like very nippy as a baby, but as it got a little bit older, it was a little bit easier to keep. But when it got around 4.5 feet, I had to rehome it. Because I was starting to get a little bit worried. At 4.5 to 5 feet, it starts to get powerfully strong. And like when it starts to like grip your like arm, like my favorite snake that I ever had was a blood python. It was just this super amazing looking, very heavy bodied, very inactive, but kind of snappy at times snake that it commanded your respect, man. It wasn't like a bullshit snake,
Never call a snake bullshit.
Yeah. And one time I actually lost a snake in my house for 8 months.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it survived.
Is this in Canada?
Yeah.
Wow. How did you have an anaconda in Canada?
And how did
They're
it
legal.
reappear? And how did it reappear?
So when I was, after my mom died, I was pretty much like the most disorganized human being on earth. I had like an entire house full of my stuff and her stuff, and it was just boxes upon boxes upon boxes that I refused to deal with. And so I stacked a lot of these boxes in the guest bedroom, and there's a guest bathroom in the guest bedroom. And if you figured out, like, a snake needs water, so that snake basically lived inside that washroom and drank water from that toilet like for 8 months. And then one day I just decided to go in there after I wanted to deal with all the boxes, and then I found the snake in the toilet.
Hopefully you weren't sitting on it at the time.
No, I was not.
Oh my God.
I was not.
That's the Anaconda movie right there.
That is the Anaconda movie right there. But it was not an anaconda. If I had lost an anaconda, I think I would be a lot more worried, because I also had a dog. That would be very scary. I would evacuate right away.
Anacondas are legal in Canada?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Alligators are not, though. But the statute of limitations has passed on my illegal activity there.
I was gonna say, maybe you know the mafioso people, because like I don't know where you're getting that alligator from.
Speaking of the mafia, what's Vincent's third?
Yeah, what is your third thing?
Okay, my third thing is this. It's a plea to you. A plea. Okay, do you know this Raptors Digest. Is it Raptors Digest?
Yeah,
There's a red-haired kid who's
Ben Rogers. Yep.
Yes, exactly. So he provides this amazing service, which is he aggregates all of the stuff that's going on in Raptor world from Twitter so that I don't have to do that. And I watch an 8-minute video and get caught up on what's going on in Raptors Twitter. Right? It's a fantastic service. But he is so cringe that I cannot listen to him do it. Like it's if only his personality was not involved in the making of these videos, it would be so refreshing, right? My plea is to you to do that. Do what he's doing, make 8-minute videos, but just be Rob as opposed to him being that dude. It's so cringe.
That will never happen.
Please just do it. It's fucking you know all this stuff. You could knock these videos out in 5 minutes at a time, drop your little Robisms, and then and catch everybody up so that they're just like quick hitters. Right? I can't fucking listen to the guy. He's so annoying. It's incredible.
Yeah, I can't like if I were to do that, I would create a new channel. I find no social I find no social value in doing that. Aggregating the tom-toms, like overreacting to everything. Like you want me to be like, the Raptors have finally solved
but that's exactly why I'm saying for you to do it, so that you don't do that stupid shit.
But see, Vince, the problem is like 95%. Okay, exactly. There's no video because look, on an average day, nothing happens. Yes. Right? Like, what do you want me to do? The sky is blue today.
And like, these guys pump videos when nothing happens.
So this is exactly. So it's like major breaking news, right? Like the world is about to end, and it's like, wow, the world's about to end. Let me click on this. Ochai Agbaji is being discussed for a 2nd-round pick, and it's like, motherfucker, I think you could trade Ochai, and I might not even realize he's gone. Like, you know. So
okay, can it? Also, I assume that he puts out videos probably every day. But maybe he could pair, if he was to pare that down to 2 or 3 times a week, there would actually be like value in what.
But there's like then first of all, even still, it would be 95% bullshit, and still like, look, like to me, the viewpoint on this is like everyone's got their own lane. When I started this out, I was very judgmental about other people in other lanes because I thought that it reinforced my own position on why I did what I did. Now I'm kind of just like, you know what, do what you do. It really doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't have anything to do with that. He doesn't have anything to do with me. And if some people want to, you know, be like, why is he psychoanalyzing Fred's post games? You know,
yeah,
like, I can hear the logic in terms of why that's ridiculous. Like, I think everybody in Raptors, you know, Twitter has kind of their own niche, like that they go with, and I think the audience has come to expect that level. So for me personally here, like I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to think more in terms of team building. I want to think more in terms of X's and O's. But obviously, if you want like a great diagram of X's and O's, you can always go to Raptors Republic and get, you know, Samson and Lewis on the Ball Don't Lie podcast to break it down for you. And they do a great job with that. So it's just like, I feel like everybody kind of does their own thing. But in terms of like the Tom-Toms audience, I don't think our audience is necessarily even that. And
what's Tom-Toms? What is that?
What does that mean?
Am I older than all of you? Like, is that what's really happening here? Am I just like, oh, it's like my grandfather told me, like the Tom-Toms, like the little rumor mill, like that, you know?
Oh, no, I didn't. Tom to me was like that was Google Maps before Google Maps existed.
After MapQuest existed.
Yeah, there was a thing called TomTom, and it was the turn left here, that thing.
Rob, I gotta get going, but can I just ask you what? Can I ask you one question though? I've always wanted to know this, and if you don't want to answer, don't answer. Did you ever have a feud with NBA Chev?
Yes.
Okay.
Did not like him.
Okay.
I still don't like him. He's weird.
Does he still make videos? Because I've actually watched Chev, and I've watched Raptors Digest, and then I quickly was like, you know what? I'm good here. I'm good here.
Rob, how long ago was it? Like years ago?
3 years ago. Yeah.
Tell us about it. Yeah. Tell us the story. If you want.
Sorry, I am actually like looking up tom-toms. Okay, so AI overview says the tom-toms or tom-tomming in the context of the rumor mill refers to the act of spreading gossip, news, or information rapidly through a community, often used metaphorically to describe the fast-paced transmission of information, similar to how drum beats were traditionally used for signaling. Okay, so that's the official
cool
lineage of tom-toms.
I never heard of it.
Okay. I think it's more like a prevalent term in finance. Okay. In terms of NBA, I think it kind of came down to him kind of ragging on Scottie in his second year and being like very, very, very insanely pro Fred VanVleet. Yeah, and I just found it to be like really nauseating. And I thought that it was a lot of misinformation.
He ended up turning on Fred.
That's interesting. And
yeah, he ended up what?
Turning on Fred.
Like an about turn. Like a heel turn, like a WWE. It's so funny that we all watch WWE and we kind of like frame a lot of our life through WWE. Like Fred was secretly like Vince McMahon, you know, kind of plotting behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like the secret like dictator. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, I probably, if I can go back in time, I probably wouldn't even give it any energy, man. To be honest, like I really probably shouldn't, but I just found it annoying. And then one day I referenced something that he said, and then he made an entire video for like 30 minutes ranting about how he's finally got a worthy adversary and how he's so happy that someone finally is like stepping up to him. And I'm like, is this a cheerleading movie? Is this guy like, am I like, is this Step Up 3? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I just found it so bizarre. And then I responded to it again. And then weirdly enough, I actually included him as a final note in the, do you remember Honest Trailer Raptors edition?
Yes.
That funny little compilation. So in the end, and like he was the last little bit of it, and then I just kind of laughed at him, and that was it. Yeah, I mean, but now it's over. Like, look, man, a lot of the people that I didn't like, honestly, just faded away. Most of the people that I didn't like just faded away. NBA Chev, I don't like NBA Chev, kind of just faded away. I couldn't stand that Warwick Report guy. He's just obscurity. So it's just like, you know, and I always had a little bit of respect. I had respect for Samson and Lewis, and they're doing really well. So it's like, you know, it's cool. I guess I didn't like William Lou initially. I probably still don't, but
listen, I told you I saw that guy at a food court once. And
did you?
I saw his head, and I'm like, that's him.
He has a big head. Yeah.
Oh,
he's also surprisingly tall. You wouldn't expect him to be.
Oh,
he's
no.
Like 6'1".
He was sitting down. He didn't get up.
You knew him from him sitting down just from the back of his head?
Yes.
Damn.
I saw that cube and I said, that's him.
Hey, man, there's some people who think that if you have a bigger head, that means you're smarter.
You know what? The funny thing is like this channel's too honest, and the fallout of that is like you're never gonna get press access, Rob. But I think like you've accepted that a long time ago.
That's okay. I mean, I know the people who make the decisions. We've had conversations, a lot of conversations actually about this stuff. And at this point, I'm just like, what do I want from basketball? I desperately want to do it my way. I do not want to be censored. I don't want to feel like if I say this about Quickley, or if I say this about Scottie, or if I say this about like people are going to look at me.
You don't have to convince anybody on the channel. Like you're a real dude. Like,
exactly.
That interview that you know, Hello and Welcome did with Bobby, like that was just an absolute joke.
Yeah, it's fluff.
I'm not upset at them or anything.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, like
they're employed by sports.
There wasn't one hard question they asked him. They didn't say, "Yo, what the hell's with the contract situations? Our books are cooked."
Well, exactly, and it's just like, wouldn't it be so refreshing for a brand if, you know, your head coach or your starting point guard took some hard questions once in a while? But they don't want hard questions because it's a business, and hard questions can sometimes sow dissent. Like, to me, like I would love for sports fans to be critical thinkers. Like I would like sports fans to think outside the box, think, you know, beyond the immediacy of wins and losses, and think more long term, you know. And ideally, thinking is something you can use and leverage forward in other parts of your life. You know, like if you become better at thinking about basketball, how would you not become better at thinking about your relationships, thinking about your familial relationships, thinking about your job, thinking about, you know, creativity, become better decision maker. And my viewpoint on this is like, even if I looked at this from a purely business standpoint, having 13,000, 14,000 subscribers who are substantially happier and richer than the average fan is actually selfishly, like, that's in my self-interest.
That is way more rewarding.
And it's way more rewarding because I get to go to sleep at night thinking I've made a positive change in people's lives. So, like, not to overthink it, but like my view on this is on a very simple stance. Like, yes, you want to cover basketball, but can you make some money out of it? Like, can you justify doing this, you know, for as many hours as you put into it? And I believe that between Player's Choice and between, you know, the memberships and between PENSARE Basketball and the ad revenue, and I think I can say yes.
Absolutely.
So
dude,
that
you not taking the gambling money is fucking, sorry, bad language. That's huge. Like that, people don't understand like how tempting that is. Like that, you get major props for that. When I watch Connor McDavid and that stupid Sportsnet commercial, like I get ill now. Like I can't watch it anymore. Like it's just like these celebrities are just whoring themselves out to like any casino that's gonna like pay them and their agent a check. Like I just can't do it anymore. You know, I muted or I changed the channel or whatever.
I actually mute all gambling ads whenever they come up. Like immediately, my television mutes. And lately, I don't know if you guys like. Do you guys ever find yourself scrolling on your phone like mindlessly?
All the time.
So there's an app. I'm not sponsored by this app at all, but you just mentioned that I don't take gambling money, so I'm like, let me just actually plug something that's been helping me a little bit. It's called Minimalist Phone. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's like an app. Look at what my phone looks like. So it converts my phone into this very boring layout. And if right now I wanted to go to like a betting app, it wouldn't even let me because they're all blocked on my phone. But right now, because I have quiet evenings activated, like if I wanted to go to YouTube, it wouldn't even let me do that.
Wow.
That's a great idea.
Like, so I go to YouTube right now and it says, you know, hey, just a warning, your quiet evening has started. You're not allowed to access this app. You decided this probably for good reason. Have a good night. You know, so using technology, which is like pretty much designed to hijack your brain, hijack your happiness, hijack your dopamine, hijack your life, and actually making it positive is like a huge thing. We got AG calling in. AG, what's up, man?
Hey Rob, I don't know how I just joined, so I don't know what you guys have discussed.
We got like 5 minutes, man. We're heading out. We've been live streaming for 3 hours and 3 minutes.
Okay, well, I mean, I just want to say that I want to add to the Emmanuel Quickley slander any chance I have an opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's great that, you know, I saw he was on the bench for a bit, and I kind of enjoyed that a lot. So, yeah, anytime I have a chance to call in and, you know, add to that and pile on, I will do that 100%, and I support it. So, sorry, I didn't mean to come in at the end when everybody's tired and stuff, but that's all I want to say, to be honest.
And that horse has been beaten to death, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Listen,
Movesy Hoops said, "What a game! Keep up the grind. Shout outs to you, content creator in the Raptors space, but also NBA space, creating a lot of dope videos. So shout outs to you. There is a reason why I tune in every night. Having press access is BS. Money will come." Like, that's kind of the point. It's like there's like an air of censorship that I sensed in the film world. You know, making films, being at film festivals. There's like, you can't say that or you'll lose your funding. You can't say that or you'll do this. You can't do this, you'll do that. It's just like, are we living this, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you know, we're living in this really bizarre world. And I don't agree with censorship. I just don't agree with it. I believe if someone wants to say something crazy, you let them say it, and then you explain to them why they're wrong. Like, I don't believe in censorship. Like, I'm just not a pro-censorship person. So for me, this idea of like, you can simply just ask a question of Bobby Webster and you can lose your press pass feels extremely authoritarian, dictatorial, and wrong. It's wrong because the whole idea is like, if we're gonna have press, it has to be free press, right? Maybe I'm being idealistic, but like Free press means you get to ask whatever the fuck question you want. So this sort of mock press conference that we have right now, let's call it what it is. It's fake. It's fake. I'll give you softball questions. You pre-script the questions. Before the questions start, you tell me what questions I can't ask about. How is that free press? I can't write about it or I'll lose my press pass. That's not free press. That's not free press at all. And so why even put yourself in that situation where you have to consistently, grapple with the morality issue of like, should I ask the question I want to ask or should I lose my, rent money? Why put yourself in that position? I think everyone thinks that they're ethical until they're forced with an emergency, and then they bend on their ethics a lot. Everybody thinks they wouldn't take money from a gambling company, and then a big emergency calamity comes, and it's like, okay, pay for the operation or take gambling money. So me personally, I'd rather put myself in a situation where I don't have to be desperate. So that's why I save a lot of money. I don't spend a lot of money. I'm like really frugal about things. So I don't want to be in a situation where I start looking at those gambling offers and I'm like, okay, what's the worst that could happen if I took $300-400 for a few months? Like, no, man, fuck that. So I'm never going to do it. And that's all I could define myself by never do it. Because when I say I'm never going to do it, now you guys can all hold me accountable if I ever bent and I ever broke. It's one thing to privately say, oh, I'll never do it. But then one day just do it. But like, no, I will never do it. And if I ever do it, you can all unsubscribe. Yeah.
Nobody thinks you're ever going to do it.
I'm never going to do it. No, like trust me, if I do it, if I ever did it, like I would have to be on my deathbed or somebody close to me is on their deathbed or is being held like for ransom by like the mafia or something like that. Something absolutely horrible would have had to happen in my life. And even still, I would probably say no. Yeah. Mike McGonigal, is he not redeemable? How does Darko fix it? Is this the Emmanuel Quickley thing? I think it's just a role thing, man. I think there's a role that he's perfectly primed for, but there's a role that he's been paid for. And if he were to just own up to the role that he's primed for, he'd be perfectly fine. But unfortunately, they keep trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. Armin Bassan with the super chat, member chat saying, shout out to Shed, early birthday win feels amazing. I don't know if it's Shed's birthday or your birthday, but if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Is it Shed's birthday? Soon to be? His defense makes me feel emotional when they do this. This defense, I agree. I think this team plays the right way like 80% of the time. It's very frustrating when they don't, but it's pretty great when they do. Yeah. Anyways, Coach Mo, any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, we're probably going to get a fake win against Denver, and I'll take it.
I'll take it too. I'll take all the fake wins I can get at this point. Yeah. Because I don't want to face Detroit or New York in the playoffs. I just want our playoff dance to last a couple rounds. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we get an injury. Maybe we get an injury to an opposing team. You
want a fake first round win.
I want a fake first round win. I want a fake second round win, fake third round win, fake fourth round
title. I'll take a fake title.
I'll take a fake title. The entire league, contracted typhoid and cholera. Like I'll take it, man. I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm not rooting on anyone's downfall. I'm just rooting on the rise.
AG left. I was going to ask him for any trade ideas, but he left.
Derek Lively for 85 first-round picks. Go.
Final thoughts. I don't know. I think the Golden State win was a turning point. That's what I want to believe happened. I could be wrong, but I think it was the first real win of the season. That's what it felt like. On some level,
the first. I feel like there has to be another couple that were good.
Because you did a great job with one of these lives you did, like how the Cleveland win was kind of like an illusion because it turned out they kind of suck, and Milwaukee's like whatever. But the Golden State Warriors, they're not a great team, but they had all their horses. Like that was a big win. That felt like a big win. It could be a turning point. That's what I hope happens. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. So
I think most people are always like trying to figure out if something's real so that they can figure out how much to get emotionally invested in the outcome.
Yeah, very
And
well
I think
said.
that's fair. To some extent, I think that's fair. Like I was reading up on this thing on narcissists the other day, and they said that a lot of narcissists are able to be extremely kind to their pets. And people around them who otherwise feel their narcissistic tendencies are unbearable will often almost gaslight themselves into believing they're actually perfectly fine people because they love the pets.
That was Tony Soprano in The Sopranos when he loved the horse. He was actually an actual sociopath. And that,
right. And people with personality disorders are very often able to funnel their love into either an object or a cause or some inanimate, like I'm in love with sharks, saving the pandas. All of these fucking like sociopathic, billionaires are, advocates for global change and saving the forests and whatever, because they're able to funnel their attention and love into anything that doesn't threaten their existence. A human being can tell you when you're wrong. A dog doesn't. A dog just loves you unconditionally. And so it's just like, that's kind of like where I'm at with like the, like trying to draw a parallel between like the fake wins and like the fake team. It's just like the fake people, right? Like there are people in this world who like you feel it in your bones that they suck as people and they're not very good people and they're very unkind and they're very two-faced. But then you see that how much they're caring and loving their animals. And you're like, man, if they can show that type of love and affection to their animal or their mother or, some non-threatening thing in their life that's unconditionally theirs, they could certainly show it to me. And I think that's why people fall into traps. It's a really random tangent. But
so
something that I was just thinking,
are you saying that like there's an unconditional like belief that the Raptors are actually like trying, like they're legitimately trying to win and like it's not fake, like the game, like that when they galvanized and they won that game on Sunday, like that was real. That felt real to me.
I mean, how good is Golden State?
And how sustainable was Scottie's performance?
I mean, Scottie's performance was ridiculous. And presumably, if you play him like that 10 games more in the season, he's just going to have a season-ending injury. Like, it's just not something that you can do. Like, I look for replicable results. Like, to me, it's like the consistency of your process trumps any cold shooting night, hot shooting night. I can care less. If you're having to, the reason that I was so against that initial team that I was covering in Scottie's rookie season was because it was so unsustainable. Playing your starters 40 minutes a night, 41 minutes a night, crashing the glass, playing predictably stupid offense when other teams weren't working as hard as you, weren't being as top heavy as you, were actually taking time to develop the youngsters, and you're eking out 41 wins with terrible chemistry. That feels like the epitome of fake, right? Whereas the Raptors, I think it's complicated because, like, on the one hand, you don't always play to your advantages and you still somehow win. You don't always go with the hot hand. Like, a guy who can come off the bench and have a great quarter doesn't always get to finish out the game because of some sort of seniority pecking order bullshit. But maybe in the playoffs, they would get that opportunity. Maybe in the playoffs, Jacoby can finish a game over Emmanuel Quickley because it's so dire straits and it's such a high stakes moment. But in the regular season, they're not willing to ruffle the feathers on it. So I don't feel like there's some sort of thing where it's like the Raptors are doing everything possible to win and they're such tryhards. I think the system is like producing 20 wins without exorbitant amounts of effort or unsustainable levels of perfectionism. And I think that that's probably an indication that you're a legitimate playoff team. I think this is a legitimate playoff team without any illusion of thinking this is a legitimate title contender. But I think this is a team that can sneak around. Like, they can win around. They're like Orlando last year. They can sneak around. They're probably like a backup big short of it, but like there's something real with this team if they're healthy, for sure.
I just want to say it is 1:30 a.m. And there are 407 people watching. So I just want to give a shout out to this community. This is crazy.
That is crazy. And let me go check. And there aren't 200 likes on this video. I'm going to be pissed.
169. They're keeping the 69 number. They're holding down the fort.
169.
Listen, when you see 69, y'all
making me be so lame because I'm liking my own video right now just to make it 170.
Okay, now we can continue. Thank you. You broke that barrier because a lot of guys.
Oh, you got me. By the way, you got me to vote on the All-Star game, which it's like one of the first.
You've never done it
in my life. Like,
mm-hmm.
I've never cared about the All-Star game, but I voted.
Did you fill out your All-Star ballot with all Canadians?
No, I was being genuine of who I thought deserved to be there, and Scottie deserves to be there over. Like,
he's not going to be voted in. Rob, realistically, is there a possibility he doesn't get voted in by coaches? Is that even possible?
Sure, it's possible.
Okay, but it's not likely.
No, it's not likely. I mean, he is a former All-Star. He's playing really great, but also I'm having to. How fucking far do I have to scroll down?
I know.
To get this guy. What?
I know.
Vucevic?
No, you're too far. You're too far. Go up a little bit. And he's right there. There.
Where?
That's
underneath.
Oh shit! My bad. I was looking only on the right side. My bad. My bad.
You were looking for a red shirt.
Yeah, I was. Like, that's insane. That's truly insane. And now I'm voting for like players that don't even deserve it. Just to like, wait, I'm gonna give Jacoby a vote.
Rob, also, by the way, it's pretty sad how you have to tell people if you want Scottie to make it, stop voting for his competition.
For real. It is pretty insane. I have voted Con Knipple, Jacoby Walter, Brandon Ingram, OG Anunoby, and Scottie Barnes.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm going to vote Luka, Shea, Laurie, Austin Reeves, Kawhi Leonard. Simple as hell. Review.
Reeves actually might make it into the All-Star game because
he deserves it. He's played really well.
Bro, that 1 week stretch where he was basically averaging 45.
Agreed.
Wow.
Yeah. For sure. Anyways, man, it's been great talking to you guys. This was like a little bit of a mini panel episode. We got like 3 hours into it. Glad we could have this conversation. It was really fun. It was a little bit funny too at times.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I didn't want to duck out early. I wanted to like make it to the end. It was great.
You've powered through, man.
Yeah, we powered through dial-up porn. We powered through that.
Dial-up porn, the end of Brass Rail. We had a lot of interesting conversations that went a lot of different places today. Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate you very much. Cheers, man. See ya. Okay, we have one final caller, Jan. Very, very quickly. What's up, man?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I can't hear you. What the hell is going on?
Can you hear me?
You can hear me though, right?
I can hear you, yeah.
I can't hear you. You're on mute, I think. What the hell? I actually can't hear you back.
Okay. Sorry about that, Jan. Looks like it's not going to work. Thank you for calling in. Thank you to everybody who stuck with us. Please like this video, subscribe, and thank you. Thank you to everybody. Lyra Alvarez did call in. I brought him on stage, but I guess we're having a conversation. He asked the question in the private chat, how long do y'all think they'll hold on to IQ, especially if he continues playing like this? My view is at least till the summer. I don't think you're getting rid of him before that. Anyways, thank you guys so very much. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors. Huge back-to-back wins. Yes, there was a time when I thought maybe the Raptors should go 0-5 or 1-4 on this homestand. I'm very, very happy to be proven wrong. I'm very happy that they're winning these games, man. It's great. Talk to y'all later. Have a beautiful night. Peace.